Sox lefty Chris Sale, two of the hottest young pitchers in the American League. Both were named 2012 All-Stars. Both have won 11 games so far. And while Darvish is fifth in the AL in strikeouts, Sale is second in ERA. A tremendous pitching matchup as division leaders face off tonight on Friday Night Baseball. A warm evening here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington as the Chicago White Sox and Texas Rangers get set to hook up in a rematch of sorts. Rangers looking for a little payback from that sweep in Chicago on the 4th of July holiday. And it will be the Central Division leading White Sox against the Western Division leading Texas Rangers. And welcome along, everybody. Glad to have you in on this Friday night, along with Tom Green, Steve Busby. And it should be a very good weekend series. A couple teams that, as you saw, on top of their divisions, playing good baseball. And, Tom, I guess tonight the pitching matchup stands out foremost among everything. And Yu Darvish had a great game last time out against the Angels.
Yeah, and I think Yu Darvish will have to be at the top of his game today, too, Buzz, because Chris Sale is an all-star himself and is having a great season as well. But Yu Darvish, in a game the Rangers really needed to win in Anaheim to make sure they came out of there with at least one win, was up to the task. He struck out 11 for the fourth time in 6 games where he's had at least double-digit strikeouts. And when you look at the replay of the strikeouts, you'll notice most of them came on fastballs. Most of the fastballs are in the strike zone. He just threw it by the Angel hitters. If he can pitch like that tonight against Chicago, who's got a predominantly right-hand hitting lineup tonight, we should be in pretty good shape.
Well, looking forward to that matchup, and Yu Darvish trying to win game number 12 as we take on the White Sox tonight. Guy that's been a thorn in the Rangers' side, Kevin Youkilis, getting ready to go. Rangers and White Sox coming up next on TXA 21. Friday night. your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT the nation's largest 4G network. AT Rethink Possible. And by TXU Energy. The right things right now. Call 866. Call TXU today. Well, another large crowd coming in. Maybe a sellout here. Maybe the 28th sellout of 2012 as the Rangers getting ready to take the field. Ron Washington hoping his ball club can continue its winning ways. The Rangers come in at 19 games over 500, 58-39. Meanwhile, the White Sox come into play tonight, having won 3 straight, all of those at home in Chicago. They are 53-45, and they lead, as you saw, the Central Division by a half game over Detroit. Lineup tonight for the White Sox. Alejandro De Aza, the center fielder, leads off. Kevin Youkilis back in the lineup. He's playing third base. Batting third, the DH is Adam Dunn. Paul Konerko bats cleanup. He's the first baseman. Right fielder Alex Rios bats fifth. Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop, hits sixth. Playing left field, batting seventh, Diane Viciedo. Tyler Flowers is starting behind the plate tonight. He will hit eighth. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Gordon Beckham.
And we'll check out the scouting report on Yu Darvish. A nice season. He's 11-6. 11 wins, is tied for fourth in the American League. An ERA under 4. 7-1 in 8 starts at home. He's pitched very well in this ballpark. That's always a good sign for a Ranger pitcher. First pitcher in American League history with 6 or more 10-plus game strikeouts in his first 18 career starts. He's had 4 games with 10 or more strikeouts in his last 6 starts, including his last start when he struck out 11 in Anaheim against the Angels in a 9-2 win.
And the defense behind Yu Darvish tonight looks like this. Josh Hamilton in left, Greg Gentry in center, and Ellie Cruz in right. Michael Young the start at first, Kinsler and Andrews up the middle, Adrian Beltre at the hot corner. Jorvi Jorrialba will handle the catching chores, and Yu Darvish, looking for win number 12, takes to the hill. Darvish 7-1 here at home. He lost his only start, his last start here in Arlington against the Oakland Athletics back on the 1st of July. So looking to start a new home streak. And Darvish going against a ball club that he has not faced in the regular season. That would be the Chicago White Sox. And from what we've seen the first time through, Darvish presents problems to anybody for the first time if he has reasonably good command the way he did against the Angels last time out.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out as well, Buzz. He gives up a 184 opponent's batting average to right-hand hitters. That's the best in the American League. And the White Sox have a lot of right-hand hitters in their lineup.
First pitch is in the dirt for ball 1 to De Aza. Alejandro De Aza, the fleet-footed center fielder, batting .279. So his on-base percentage, and that is coming up of late, .346 as we begin play here tonight. 1-0 pitch. And that is a strike on the corner. A 95-degree evening with some partial cloud cover. Enough clouds to obscure the sun a bit so that Josh Hamilton in left field doesn't have an awful lot to deal with right now. And a mild breeze blowing in from right center field. De Aza fouling it off. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Calling the balls and strikes tonight, the 5-year veteran Rob Drake. He'll be joined by the crew chief Joe West at first base, Sam Holbrook at second, and Andy Fletcher is down at third. And Darvish going to cinch up that shoe just a little bit, make sure it doesn't give way for him. And I'm sure De Aza would really appreciate that if you have good footing out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Off speed, tried the back door and just off the plate. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
De Aza runs well. He's in the top 10 in the league with 18 stolen bases, so keeping him off base is important. Darvish has been relatively easy to run on.
Got him swinging. What a good breaking ball that was. That back foot 85-mile-an-hour slider, and that is the first strikeout of the first hitter he sees.
Yeah, when you've never seen Darvish, I don't know what you do when you've got 2 strikes and that pitch comes up there. pretty much you do exactly what Diaz did.
Yeah.
You swing and miss at it.
I would guess the scouting report on you, Darvish, would be, don't let him get ahead of you like that. That's the best idea.
Exactly.
But sometimes you don't have any choice. So one gone. Here's Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis, as the Rangers found out in that series over the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of July, really made a difference in this batting order. Provided some stability, some run production at the top of the order.
The other thing he did against the Rangers, Buzz, was he made some defensive plays that in close games that may have been kind of plays that were game-saving plays.
2 balls and no strikes as Darvish comes off the plate a couple of times.
Got the walk-off hit to win a game.
He got credited with 3 consecutive go-ahead RBI in that 19-2 thumping that the White Sox laid on the Rangers. 2-1 the count. Youkilis has been with the White Sox just about a month now. Came over from the Boston Red Sox, where things had gotten a little bit dicey for Kevin Youkilis. And he sure seems to be fitting in very nicely. Gets fisted here and fights it off foul the other way.
Yeah, it seems, Buzz, like that was the classic instance where a player needed to change of scenery. It had kind of run its course in Fenway. That's just the way it was. And once he got kind of a new lease here in Chicago, he's played a lot better here than he was playing in Boston.
That probably happens more often than we're aware of, I would think, Tom.
Yeah.
Guys sometimes don't get the opportunity to get that new lease on life, if you will.
Yeah, it's not that he wasn't trying. He was trying. He just needed a new team.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're reluctant to say he needed more motivation because that's kind of an insult to a major league player. But for whatever reason, it wasn't working as well in Boston as it is right now.
Right. Well, the count has gone full now to Youkilis. Sign thrown down by Yorvi Torrealba. And the payoff pitch from Darvish. Breaking ball. Did he go around? No, says Joe Westhand at first.
I don't know how he took that pitch. That's pretty good bat control right there by a guy noted for good bat control. That slider didn't miss by much. Youkilis started and was just able to hold up on it.
I think that's when you know you're going really good at the bat, when you can check your swing on something like that.
No kidding.
Now here's Adam Dunn, the major league leader, with 30 home runs. Rangers putting a partial shift on, and Dunn takes a fastball for a strike away. You're going to look at Adrian Beltre, the only player on the left side of the infield. He's just about where the normal shortstop hole would be. And then you have Anderson Kinsler swung way around to the right. Still a hole with Michael Young holding the runner at first. And a good pitch is skied to left field. Hamilton started back, now has to come on. Using his speed, he can't get there. It drops off the end of his glove for a base hit.
Well, there's something you don't see very often. Josh didn't get a good read on it. And then right at the end, didn't catch it. Normally, he makes that play. Fastball. Dunn gets underneath it, puts his head down, assumes that he's out. Josh can't quite get to it. Goes for a base hit.
Yeah, that wasn't the case of the sun getting in Hamilton's eyes. He has the glasses on, but the sun pretty well obscured by the high clouds. So it was just a jump that he started back on. Of course, a guy as big as Dunn takes a full swing and gets jammed. You don't necessarily get a very good read on it anyway. And unusual, like you say, Todd, to see a guy with Hamilton's speed not be able to close in on a mistake like that as well.
Yeah.
So runners at first and second. Still just one out. Here's Paul Konerko, and he is the hottest White Sox hitter. He went 8 for 11 against the just completed series against the Twins. Lines one to center. Playing it on a hop is Gentry, and being held at third is Youkilis. As a throw on one hop is perfect. Now, Gentry laid back on it a little bit just to make sure that he got a good bounce off the turf and then uncorked a dandy throw.
Well, Konerko came into the game 16 for his last 29, 551, and he stays hot. I mean, he's a good hitter. He's had a month where he wasn't swinging the bat all that well. A little bit of a ticky-tack injury here and there, but he's hot right now. He's got his average up to close to 340 now.
And an early visit from Mike Maddox, Rangers pitching coach, to give Darvish a chance to calm down a little bit. And you can't say he's been exactly roughed up here in the first inning.
He made a great pitch to Youkilis that just missed, and Youkilis was just able to hold up on the 3-2 slider. And a ball that I think normally Josh would catch fell in for a base hit. Now they're loaded.
And you still have the chance with the ground ball to get the double play and end things right here. Alex Rios steps to the plate, hitting at .314. And Darvish misses high and tight for ball one. Rios has done some damage this year. 16 and 60 runs driven in. At .350 on base percentage tells you he's getting back to where he was a few years ago. This one skied to left field. It should be deep enough to score Youkilis. Hamilton backing up, makes the catch. Youkilis tags, will score without a throw, and the White Sox on the sacrifice fly by Alex Rios take a 1-0 lead. Rios drives in his 61st of the year. And the White Sox able to take advantage of a couple of breaks, get on top, and now it's up to you, Darvish, to make sure that that's all the damage there is in the first inning. Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop, now stepping in. Told by that on-base percentage, Ramirez not prone to take the walk. It was after that first pitch, fouls it back just below us. It's 0-1.
He's definitely a guy, when you get ahead, you can get him to swing a slider down and out of the strike zone.
Ramirez this season has a grand total of 10 walks in 370 official at bats. 0-1 pitch. Up the middle, off the mound, behind the bag at Kinsler. He shovels to Andrus. Nobody there to make the grab. It was behind Elvis. And that will go as an infield single, and will reload the bases for Viciedo.
Well, not a very hard hit ball. It was headed straight up the middle, but it was hit so softly that Ian was able to get over and catch the ball. Couldn't quite make the force out at second base. An awkward throw coming back toward Elvis, who was on his way toward the bag.
I wouldn't think that's a throw that you practice all that often.
No, it's just an improvised play.
So still 2 outs. Diane Viciedo takes a breaking ball that's low, and a nice block by Yorbi Torrealba. Viciedo, one of the 5 White Sox players with 16 or more home runs. You have 4 of them with exactly 16, and you got Adam Dunn with 30. One-zero pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
A good two-seam fastball, a good sinker.
Darvish about ready to throw his 21st pitch of this first inning. I don't know if Viciedo was trying to get out of the way or started his swing. I'm not sure he really knew what he was doing himself.
Well, it might have hit him wherever it hit him. It wouldn't have mattered because he swung at the pitch.
That did get him on the hand, didn't it?
Yeah. That was not a real good pitch to hit right there.
No. You're probably not going to do much with that. Darvish with a 1-2. Check swing on a breaking ball, and again, Torrealba having to scramble around to keep that ball close to home plate. Count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes to Viciedo. Yu Darvish, the 25-year-old from Osaka, Japan. Trying to limit the damage here in the first inning. White Sox lead 1-0. Got him swinging. Viciado gone on strikes. A pair of punch-outs. The White Sox get on the board. A run on 3 hits. They leave them loaded. Rangers coming up trailing 1-0. Trying to at least even things out here tonight. Here's the lineup that Ron Washington puts out there. Ian Kinsler leads off. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, bats second. Josh Hamilton hitting third. Adrian Beltre bats cleanup, plays third base. Michael Young, the starter, first. He will bat fifth. Kelly Cruz in right, bats sixth. The DH is Mike Napoli. He's hitting seventh. Yorby Torrealba bats eighth and catches. And the center fielder, Craig Gentry, is the number 9 hitter.
Scouting report on the all-star left-hander Chris Sale, 11-3, 237. That's the second best ERA in the American League. Last 11 starts have been even better. 8-1, a 203 ERA, 205 opponent's batting average. July 3rd in Chicago against the Rangers, pitched an exceptional game, 7 1/3, only gave up 1 run in that ball game. Third best opponent's batting average in the league, so he's got a pretty good combination going.
And Ian Kinsler starting things off. Kins steps in hitting 275. On base percentage back up over the 340 mark at 341 as he takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Sale was on the mound when the White Sox went crazy and beat the Rangers 19-2 in that game on July 3rd. That was the start that Roy Oswalt had that didn't go very well for the veteran right-hander. Gave up 3 home runs in the first inning. And the pitch is high. It's 3 balls and a strike.
Well, Sale lost his last start against the Tigers. He gave up 5 runs. It's only the second time this year he's given up more than 3 runs in a game.
Kinsler, a foul ball off to the right. The count has gone full.
We've seen him when his fastball has been in the mid-90s. Sometimes a little tick higher than that maybe. Early in the game, and it's only 5 or 6 pitches into the game. His fastball is more around 90, 91.
Now the payoff pitch from the left-hander, and that's fouled away.
I guess one of the things, Buzz, that they'll have to answer with Chris Sale, he's not a big guy. He's wiry, but he's very slightly built. How many innings will he be able to throw? First year as a starter professionally. And what's going to happen the last couple of months of the year? Will he be able to stay strong? Look at that ball.
Boy, that ball shot foul off the screen in front of the White Sox dugout. It kind of got the attention of Robin Ventura, their skipper.
That's Mark Parent.
And Mark
next
Parent.
to him. Yeah, used to catch for the Rangers a while back.
Yeah, talking about Chris Sale, Tom, they had to put him in the bullpen for a short rest back in May because he had some fatigue. And hanging tough fouls that pitch off. just kind of a precautionary. And I think they're trying to do the same kind of thing the Rangers have learned with their starting pitchers, especially the young ones. Give them a spot here and a spot there to take some time away.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of baseball left. He's got 8 or 9, maybe 10 starts left.
Pitch inside, and I think that hit it.
That's before postseason.
That's right.
Now, here's a guy that, when you've seen him early in the year, when he was throwing 95 miles an hour, I don't think you'd be seeing changeups and curveballs to the first hitter of the game, would you? 3-2 like that?
No, you wouldn't. Especially after you gave him a 1-0 lead in the top of the first.
Yeah. Here's my 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Exactly.
Let's see what you can do with it.
Exactly. And if you hit that one hard someplace, you're going to get a changeup the very next pitch.
Yeah.
Well, the Rangers get their leadoff man aboard. That'll go down as a hit batter, I believe. Ian Kinsler reaching first. Here's Elvis Andrus. There goes Kinsler. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second, not in time, as Kinsler able to swipe second base on the first move that he saw. A good jump by Ian Kinsler. Well, that has to go right back to the scouting and having seen Sale a couple weeks ago, but the preparation, the mental preparation a guy like Kinsler and Elvis Andrus go through before a ball game with Gary Pettis, talking about the moves and what you can expect. There's a ground ball to the right side. That'll get the job done as Kinsler scoots on over to third, and Elvis a productive out as the runner advances, and Kinsler now at third base with just one out, and Hamilton coming up. Nice job by Elvis.
Well, you're going to have a situation where the infield will be playing back. One of those situations with one out, man at third, contact. Name of the game, hit the ball on the ground, score a run, unless it goes to the pitcher or hard to the third baseman.
Way outside with a breaking ball. First pitch to Hamilton. Not even in the same area code. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, Josh has had a little bit of success against Salem, and he's been on 2 of the 4 times that he's faced him. He's had a walk and a base hit. 1 for 3 officially. Goes after this one, hits it high in the air, deep center field. Going back to Ozza. And he pulls up just short of the warning track and makes the catch. Tagging at third and trotting down the line to score is Ian Kinsler. We've got a brand new ball game. It's tied at 1. And Hamilton almost made it a 2-1 game.
Well, that's the kind of run that really makes Ron Washington feel good. He'll leave his perch for congratulations on that run. Work the walk, steal second, make the fundamental play, hit behind the runner, and then make some contact and drive in the run. Pick up a run without a hit. Answer the White Sox.
Now Josh Hamilton drives in his second 82nd run of the year, I should say. And the Rangers are back dead even at 1-1, and Adrian Beltre is the hitter. Big sweeping breaking ball, and that finds the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Adrian brings in a 3-game hitting streak. You see the numbers, again, a very solid 315 for Beltre. Foul ball, and it's still no balls, 2 strikes. Sale back to the plate, and the breaking ball, chop foul. Yeah, and Tom, this is a completely different Chris Sale than what we saw in Chicago.
It is. It is. I was thinking that in the at bat to Ian. He looks right now. I mean, who knows what's going to happen after the first inning? But looks more like a finesse pitcher right now.
He does.
Which I guess if he can pitch successfully that way is to his credit. Young pitcher, if he can get you out without his best stuff, I guess that's kind of the name of the game. But he's not what we saw in Chicago.
No.
Not what opposing hitters saw in the first half of the season. Yet. Just the first inning. We'll see.
And Beltre, another foul ball. That one back over our heads. There's still no balls and 2 strikes.
Buzz, if you're with the White Sox now and you're watching this, are you thinking maybe he's getting tired at this stage of the season, or are you just thinking it's,
you know, what I'm thinking is Beltre bangs one to left field for a base hit. I want to see what kind of adjustment he makes going after the second inning.
Yeah.
And, you know, if he shows signs of getting it together, it doesn't, I don't know enough about his mechanics to say, well, he's a little bit off here and there. Maybe he's just trying to find it. But if he doesn't make an adjustment and get a little bit better next inning, then yeah, I'm starting to say, wait a minute, there's something going on here that's not very good for our club. And,
yeah.
And Robin Ventura, I'm sure, is very well aware of what's going on. They have one of the better pitching coaches around, too, in Don Cooper.
Well, we didn't see him in the start against Detroit. He pitched 7 innings in that game, but he walked 4, and he gave up 5 runs. So he's coming off, for him, one of his poorer starts.
Right. Here's Michael Young, and he takes a knee-high strike.
And there's his fastball. That one was 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, and just what we've seen here in the first inning, I don't think necessarily would raise an alarm bell like, oh, my goodness, I've got to get him out of there. He's going to hurt himself. Yet. We'll see what happens as time goes on in this game. If he can, you know, find a good mechanical groove to get in and start throwing the ball better, then it's just one of those starts where you started off slowly.
Now, do you have starts in the course of a season where, you know, I hear in spring training, dead arm period, where you feel fine, but your velocity is just down a little bit?
Yeah, you feel like you're throwing the ball every bit as hard as you always do, and it's not getting there as fast.
Yeah.
And that's a problem when you're tricking yourself.
Not necessarily a physical problem, though,
no.
like an injury or something.
A little bit of fatigue. You know, it's kind of like a golf swing. You know, you feel good some days. You know, there's no effort to hit the ball, and it goes a long way.
Yeah.
And other days, you feel the same, and the ball just doesn't go as far.
Yeah.
And it's about timing and the rhythm. And Michael Young, a shot to center field. That's a base hit. Beltre to second will stop there. And boy, Young and Beltre back-to-back solid base hits to the outfield.
They've already got Sale up to 25 pitches here in the first inning.
That's great camera work there, guys. You got a pretty good shot of the knuckleball going back the other way. Michael hit that ball so solidly it took all the spin off it. Kind of like the line drive that was hit at Elvis Andrus the other night that got him right in the palm of the glove. He said that was a knuckleball. So 2 on, 2 out, and here's Nelly Cruz.
Well, both teams had a walk that came around to score, started a rally. Both teams put other people on base. Darvish pitched out of his with the bases loaded. See if the Rangers can touch up Sale for a little bit more right here.
2 balls, no strikes. Well, the one thing you want to make sure if you're a Ranger hitter, I would think right now, is get a good pitch to hit and drill him. You know, we've got him right where we want him, and let's not help him out.
Right.
Cruz, a drive hit high and deep to right field. Going back is Rios. That ball is gone. Goodbye, Nelly Cruz. A 3-run home run. The Rangers lead 4-1.
Well, Buzz, I think he looked for a good pitch. He got it 2-0. And I think the thing you like about it is he didn't try to pull it. He drove it where he's got great power to right center field. And after Hamilton's sacrifice fly made it a 1-1 game, 2 outs and nobody on, the Rangers follow that up with 2 ropes for singles and a fastball away that's not even a strike. You can tell by the look on Sale's face, he's not even watching it. He knows that ball's gone.
So Nelly Cruz, his second home run in as many nights. First ball swinging, Mike Napoli skies one to right field. It's playable out there for Rios. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. Fireworks in the first for the Rangers. 4 runs on 3 hits, and nobody left after 1. A happy Ranger team leading the White Sox 4-1 on TXA 21. Joel Thomas. Joel?
Hey, thanks, Buzz. Another great crowd up here for Friday Night Baseball in the community corner. I want to talk to you real quickly about Zeno the robot. Now, Zeno's not a toy. He's a $16,000 humanoid prototype. He's designed to communicate with autistic children. Those kids are often find Zeno less threatening than adults. Zeno has endless patience with the kids, and he goes into production this summer. You can find out more at HansonRobokind.com. Buzz?
All right, Joel.
Wow.
Very interesting. That's
Glad I've lived long enough to see that.
no kidding.
That's incredible.
No kidding. Tyler Flowers starting things off in the top of the second. Flowers filling in for the sore A.J. Pierzynski. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Pierzynski has got a little side problem. Hurt himself a few days ago, and Flowers has caught the last 3 games now. Flowers hitting in the A spot, batting 182, a couple of home runs and 2 RBI.
Because I said 2 leadoff walks, you had mentioned that Ian was hit by a pitch.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote down that he was walked. Evidently,
Okay.
It was a hit by pitch. I couldn't tell if it hit him or not.
One of us is going to be right.
Yeah. I think it's officially a hit by
Yeah.
pitch, though. So
they did finally rule that.
1 leadoff walk and a hit by pitch was the other one.
If it hadn't hit him, though,
It would have been
ball 4
4
anyway.
Yeah.
Call strike 3.
3 fastballs.
Throws him at home plate like last month's leftovers.
What happened to the Swanson TV dinner?
I'm going to break that out later on.
That's my favorite one.
I thawed one out.
I was talking to someone the other day that heard that and laughed harder than I did, and then went to his supermarket to try to get a Swanson TV dinner to bring it into you, but he couldn't find one.
I don't think they make them anymore. That was back in the 50s. Now the number 9 man, Gordon Beckham, and he takes high, ball 1. Beckham, the second baseman for the White Sox, hitting that number 9 slot.
I can remember exactly what was in some of those too. You could get a couple of pieces of fried chicken, something that was like a tater tot.
Yep.
Maybe a couple of ounces of chopped up green beans, and then maybe like a little corner of apple cobbler or something like that.
That you had to take the foil off of before you. Yeah.
Well, where'd you have all those? You have them in college? Do you eat them in college?
No, I had them growing up.
You know, it's like a well-balanced meal.
It is well-balanced. The thing I like about it when you had
now, I know you went to USC and played football there and played baseball there, so you're a big, strong guy. You must have chowed down on a couple of those. You didn't just have one, did you?
You know what I like when they came out with that Hungry Man selection.
Oh, yeah.
You had a half pound of beef.
How about Dinty Moore's beef stew?
There you go.
Ever
Yeah,
try that?
certainly.
I could see you with that plaid shirt. More Dinty Moore.
Now those plaid shake. That's a lumberjack stuff. That kind of itched. Beckham behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes, and Darvish back to the plate. Now Darvish given a 4-1 lead by his Ranger teammates. He certainly showed on Saturday against the Angels that he enjoys pitching with a lead. He got ahead and really never looked back. The Eagles got to him for a single run in a couple of innings, but that was it. He just never wavered in that 9-2 Ranger win. Now the 2-2 to Beckham. And the count has gone full. Well, Gordon Beckham, the number 9 man, trying to get aboard. It will take the White Sox back to the top of the order for Alejandro De Aza. Hits are even at 3, but the Rangers used Nelly Cruz's boomstick for a 3-run blast to put him up there. By the diving Adrian Beltre into left field, and Beckham has a 1-out single.
I'd rather see him throw him a strike and give up a hit than walk him. You know, you got a chance if you throw a strike, he puts it in play. You got a better chance than not of getting it out. And threw him a pretty good fastball, 95 miles an hour. It looked like it had a little bit of movement toward the inside part of the plate. And Beckham hit it. Nice job of hitting by Beckham. Could have been right at Adrian for an out.
That may have been the hardest hit ball the White Sox have had off Darvish.
Yeah.
Looking back to the first inning, couple doinkers, and well, Konerko hit his pretty well to center.
Solid line drive.
1 on, 1 out. De Aza went down swinging the first time that he faced Darvish tonight. Line drive right at the shortstop, and it is ruled an out. Ruled a line drive out. Is second base umpire Sam Holbrook immediately threw up that right hand to indicate that Elvis had picked it off the dirt.
I don't think Omar Vizquel could have turned that into an out of the glove, on the ground double play. That one, you can't take any chances on a rope like that. And what Omar would try to do on that is let it hit your glove, bounce in front of you, pick it up, and try to turn a double play and see if you can get away with it.
After 24 years of major league experience, I guess you figured out how to do things like that. Here's Kevin Youkilis, and he takes a strike at the knees. Youkilis drew the walk in the first inning when he checked his swing on a very good 3-2 pitch. And just able to check his swing. Drew the walk and then came around to score on the sacrifice fly by Alex Rios.
A 3-2 pitch, fastball count. You'd never faced him before. To be able to lay off that pitch shows you when Youkilis is going well, the kind of bat discipline he has.
And Darvish apparently stepped back before making that little bluff over there. Darvish okays the sign. Beckham a pretty good lead at first base. And a high fastball swung right through. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's Darvish's 4-seam fastball at 95 miles an hour.
So advantage Darvish. Now, Kevin Youkilis, you got to have about 5 different things going through your mind. Which kind of pitch am I going to see and where? And a toss to first base. And back is Beckham. Darvish with 3 strikeouts so far through the first 10 hitters that he's faced. And the right-hander is ready. There goes Beckham. The pitch is tapped foul. Boy, Beckham had a huge jump from first.
Yeah, base runners are 14 out of 15 stealing bases against you. So he has not done a real great job of holding runners on.
Now that may be the only thing that I can think of, Tom, that we can point to and say that's a problem for you, Darvish. And if that's the only problem he has, he's a lot better than I thought he was.
Yeah, there are a lot of pitchers that don't hold runners,
sure,
but the fewer runners you give up, the bit less of a problem it is.
Darvish again with the 0-2, hit well to center field. Going back is Gentry. He is at the wall. That ball's gone. Youkilis went down, got an 0-2 pitch, and drove it out of here to deepest left center field. That makes it a 4-3 Ranger lead.
Yeah, that was not the pitch he's trying to throw. He threw it hard, but 0-2. You just can't throw that kind of a strike to a good hitter. You know, Youkilis has got good plate discipline, but 0-2, that's not a real good pitch. Right down the middle of the plate. And Darvish knew that pretty much the minute he let go of it. But when a pitcher like Darvish gets a right-hand hitter 0-2, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Youkilis, ever ready, he was able to go down and get that. Youkilis, a very good low ball hitter, by the way. 1-0 pitch now to Dunn. Swinging and misses the breaking ball.
You know, if anything, throw him the high fastball that he just swung and missed at.
Right.
And if he doesn't swing at it, throw him the slider that he checked his swing on the first time.
One pitch. Slowly hit out towards second base. Elvis Andrus playing on that side. Gobbles it up, fires on to first. And that'll do it. The White Sox come up with a couple runs on 2 hits after 1.5. 4-3 Rangers. call to Mark McLemore at 469-209-2121. And if you read your text in the postgame show tonight, you'll win a $50 sporting goods gift card from Metro PCS. The text number again is 469-209-2121. Well, it's now a one-run game as Jorvi Torrealba starts things off in the Rangers' second inning. Rangers on top 4-3, and Torrealba, little number down the third baseline, and converging are both Sale and Flowers. And they both, I got it, you take it. Well, Jorvi not exactly known for his speed, throwing the antlers up as he comes back to first base, and that's when you know Torrealba is hot, and he has been hot when he gets a base hit like that.
He just kind of dribbled that ball down into no man's land. Flowers really can't pounce on it. Sale peels away. It just stayed there.
So the fourth Ranger hit of the night. 4 Rangers out of the 8 that had come to home plate had hit safely. And here's Craig Gentry. Bunting fouls it off to the right. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Ford leaderboard this evening. Average with runners on base. How about Craig Gentry? 385 is what he's hitting this year. Tom, you're not on there. I'm a little bit. I thought you for sure you'd be on there.
No.
With runners on base, not in scoring position.
Mine was actually 400 if you added it up for about like the 6 years I was here. I beat Michael Young by adding up my 6 years.
Torrealba getting a modest lead at first. He's staying put, and the breaking ball comes in the back door, and Gentry now down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Last 8 ball games, Craig Gentry, one of the hottest hitters in the major leagues.
Pitch tried to get in the strike zone, but never came close.
Breaking ball pulled to third. The second for 1. The return not nearly in time as Gentry able to leg that out easily. And Torrealba is removed from the base pass. Gentry at first now with 1 out.
Well, that's a good trade as far as base runners go.
Rangers have some speed options with Kinsler and Andrews coming up.
Second baseman Ian Kinsler.
Ian hit by a pitch his first time up, scored the first Ranger run. Swiped second. Advanced on a ground out by Andrews and scored on a sac fly. Gentry establishing a pretty good lead at first base, and Sale's first pitch is a strike on the inside corner. Kinsler, with that run scored in the first, now has scored 70 runs this year. Sale a slide step and misses low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gentry 27 out of 31 steals attempts in his career. Kinsler, a drive to center field, is playable for Diaza. He makes the catch. Gentry back to first. There are now 2 outs, and Elvis coming up. So Ian 0 for 1, and Elvis will step to the plate, having grounded out to second base in the first inning. Remember now, Elvis is bringing that 13-game hitting streak along tonight. Been a .320 hitter for the span of those 13 ball games. And that batting average at .298, just a couple of ticks below the 300 mark. And Sale will toss one over to first to drive Gentry back. Pitch to Elvis is chopped foul at home plate. And it's 0-1. Andrus has not really enjoyed hitting against White Sox pitching, and it goes back more than just this year. He's only 2 for 25. That's an 0.80 average this year, but it goes back the last 10 ball games. He's just 2 for 37 against the White Sox pitchers. One of those anomalies, and Gentry's picked off. The throw by Konerko, they got him. Tag applied by the second baseman Beckham, and Craig Gentry caught trying to steal second, so the Rangers are gone in the second. No runs a hit, nobody left. 4-3 Texas. By Sports City Toyota. Go to sportscitytoyota.com. We'll deliver anywhere in Texas. And by Whataburger. Proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. The folks on a very comfortable evening here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. A near capacity crowd, if not capacity. Rangers leading 4-3 as we head to the top of the third inning. It'll be the middle third of the White Sox order to face Yu Darvish, Konerko, Rios, and Ramirez. And Darvish missing low and outside to Konerko. Konerko, a base hit to center, his first time to the plate. Batting average at .338 now for the slugging first baseman. Breaking ball hangs inside, almost plunked him, but Konerko able to jackknife out of the way. Darvish gets the sign he wants from Torrealba. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Konerko coming into the game second in the American League in batting. He was fourth in on-base percentage at the start of the evening. He's just really having a very solid all-around year. And another chopper foul. So the count is even at 2-2.
White Sox are the only team with 5 players that have 15 or more home runs. They have 4 players with 16. And Adam Dunn leads major leagues with 30 home runs. Konerko is one of the guys with 16.
Darvish comes set. And the 2-2. Konerko just flicking his bat there. Well, news today. Zach Greinke trade went down, and to the surprise of many, the Angels acquired him from Milwaukee. Gene Segura, their leading shortstop prospect, was traded over to Milwaukee along with a couple of Double-A pitchers. As Konerko takes low for a ball. Surprised, Tom?
No, I think everybody knew that Doug Melvin was going to trade Zach Greinke. Everybody knew that the Angels were interested in him. I think Milwaukee was looking for a shortstop, and I'm sure the Rangers wouldn't trade Jurickson Profar.
Yep.
So, under those circumstances, I'm glad we got Jurickson Profar.
Konerko, another foul ball.
It's so hard to develop that type of a prospect, and a young prospect. We've seen it with a lot of our players. You saw it with Ian. You saw it with Elvis. How valuable those players can be that produce at a high level for the first few years of their big league career, making the minimum salary. And you have a hard time finding those players, and you can't just give them up every time a chance comes along, especially for a rental player. People will say, hey, you've got a chance to win the World Series. You should trade anybody it takes to get those guys. And that's just not true. You got to balance winning now, which is important. And I don't think the Rangers have to prove to anybody how badly they want to win. All you have to do is look at what they've done the last couple of years acquiring players.
Right.
But you have to balance that with continuing to have a steady stream of young players to make your franchise strong in the future. That's what it's all about, not being good now, being good now and into the future. You want to do what the Braves did, whatever it was, win 14 straight division championships. That's what the goal is.
Yep.
And so it's a balancing act. You trade someone like Profar for Zach Greinke, and then you don't go to the World Series. Well, it was a nice try. Everybody said you did great. But then when Jurickson Profar is a 12-year All-Star, everybody's looking back and saying, how the heck did you ever trade him for Zach Greinke?
Yeah. And you had Greinke for 2.5 months.
Yeah, exactly.
3-2, and again, Konerko. Now off some tough pitches. This is the 10-pitch at bat now, and Konerko refuses to go quietly. Konerko over the years, a great White Sox player from the standpoint of the history of the Sox. 405 home runs and 1,281 RBI. Both of those are second all-time in Chicago White Sox franchise history. Breaking ball, close, strike three.
They threw him everything he had. Konerko battled and finally took one for strike three. Took a while, but Darvish won out. That's a good pitch. Konerko acted like he didn't like the pitch, but that pitch is all the way in the strike zone. It wasn't even on the corner.
Well, 4 strikeouts now for Yu Darvish. An 11-pitch battle to start off this third inning. And now Alex Rios will step in. Rios had the sacrifice fly to left field back in the first inning to plate the first run of the ball game. Was after the first pitch, and right there is Adrian Beltre.
Well, all those pitches to get Konerko and one pitch to get Rios. It balanced out.
Yu is probably saying thank you very much. I appreciate that, Alex Rios.
And Ramirez is a pretty good guy to do the same thing. He's not going to take pitches.
Rios had an infield single, chopped one up the middle that Ian Kinsler gloved, but he was in shallow center field when he was able to do it, and tried to flip off balance to Elvis for a force and couldn't get it done. Well, Ramirez with a base hit, now hitting at 270. And the first pitch to him is a slider that stays high for ball one. Ramirez hitting about 100 points higher in his last 34 ball games than he is the entire year. 371 as he swings and misses.
That's a pitch you can throw to him a lot with success. Not having the same power numbers this year that he's had in the past. Not that he's been a power hitter, but he's hit 15 home runs. Only got 3 so far this year.
Takes that pitch just out of the strike zone. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Pretty good fastball right there. Looked like it was fairly near the corner, if not on the corner.
Darvish ready to work. And the pitch to Ramirez. Chopper, Beltre, good read. Stops, throws, low, but dug out nicely by Michael Young. Well, Beltre triggered the throw the way he always does, but it looked like he threw one of those sailors, but Michael Young stayed with it nicely. A 1-2-3 inning for you, Darvish and the Rangers after 2.5. Rangers 4, White Sox 3 on TXA 21. Place to host a party. Tickets for groups of 20 or more start at only $10, and all-you-can-eat seats for groups start at only $31. Reserve tickets for your outing at texasrangers.com/groups, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Bottom of the 3rd inning. And the first pitch from Chris Sale to Elvis Andrus is a breaking ball that's in for strike 1. Elvis left standing at home plate when Craig Gentry was caught trying to steal to end the 2nd. A bunt, and Sale got off the mound pretty quickly. Snapped through to first. Elvis is out. That's 1 away, and Josh Hamilton coming up.
He's trying to bunt it to Konerko and beat the pitcher to the bag. Just never got it by the pitcher. Doesn't work if you don't get it by the pitcher.
Josh steps in, having had that sacrifice fly, and he just missed it in a 2-run home run on that long fly to center. He looks at a strike here. Josh, whose tailspin has been pretty well chronicled. Waves at 1 and misses, and he's down in the count 0-2. Chris Sale's allowed 4 hits and 4 runs tonight. And he gets Hamilton on strikes, and that has become all too familiar sight in the last couple of months against left-handed pitching. Now, Hamilton started off the year, the first 2 months, hitting .395 against left-handed pitchers. It's about a third of that since the 1st of June. For Sale, that's his first strikeout. And 2 gone now for Adrian Beltre. And Beltre lines one to center field. Daza will have to come in and play it on a hop, and Adrian is 2 out of 2. Well, he started that 2-out uprising in the first inning. He and Michael had back-to-back singles, and Nelly Cruz hit one into the Ranger bullpen for a 3-run shot. Let's see if the history will repeat itself.
Yeah, and again, we talked about this early in the game in the first inning, but it's continued into the third inning. This doesn't look like the same pitcher the Rangers faced a couple of weeks ago in Chicago. Sale hadn't thrown a ball 90 miles an hour in about 25 pitches. There's his fastball right there. That's 89 miles an hour. The guy that earlier in the year, as he's making his all-star credentials, was throwing in the mid-90s.
Oh, 1 pitch, and that's just off the outside corner. Michael, a line drive to center, his first time to the plate. Beltre, the runner at first after a 2-out single. There was the changeup that Michael tapped foul. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Michael now in the last couple of weeks has gotten things turned around a bit. He's hit safely in 11 of his last 13 ball games. With his first inning single tonight, hitting up around 330 over that time. Sale will deliver a little soft toss over to first base. A little calling card for Adrian Beltre. There goes Beltre. Pitch is looped out of play down the first base side, and Adrian coming back. Beltre must be feeling pretty good tonight, then.
Now, Sale looks like the kind of guy that if you guess right and go on first movement, you can get a pretty good jump. Now, if you guess wrong and he throws over there, then you're sunk. That happened to Craig Gentry. And that's the way Ian stole second in first inning. Ended up coming around and scoring on Josh's sacrifice fly.
And Sale again with a 1-2 pitch. And that's lined foul down the right field side. Well, Michael hanging tough and a ball and 2 strikes. Hits are even at 5 here this evening. Rangers lead by 1, 4-3. Neither ball club has committed an error. The White Sox, the second best defensive team in the American League, trailing only Seattle. Rangers are in 5th. And a little 3-hopper out to second base. Beckham on to first. That'll do it. So the Rangers can't do anything with Beltre's 2-out single. They strand a runner. After 3 complete, the Rangers 4, the White Sox 3 on TXA 21. Us at trophynissan.com. Beautiful night at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. A packed house, and Rangers leading 4-3 as Darvish heads back to the mound. Rangers looking for sellout number 28 of the 2012 season. That far and away surpassing the previous franchise record that was set in 1994 at 21. And first ball swinging, and Viciedo pops one up. Michael Young at the railing, reaches in and comes up about a row short. And we'll come back and try it at no balls and 1 strike. Bottom third of the White Sox order to face Darvish. Viciedo batting now, and he'll be followed by Flowers and Beckham. Viciedo went down swinging against Darvish the first time up there. And that breaking ball is just a bit wide. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Darvish back to the plate. And a chopper on the left side. Elvis uncorks a strong throw and gets Viciedo 1 gone. And now before Tyler Flowers steps in, let's check in with Joel Thomas again, who has a very special guest with him.
Yeah, I do, Buzz. This is somebody that's been bringing you Rangers baseball at home for a long time, and you've never met him, but we all know him, Phil Crow. And Phil, how long have you been doing Rangers baseball, and how long have you been in TV?
I've been in TV 53 years, and Rangers 31.
And how many games do you think you've broadcast in that time?
Thousands. Yeah.
And a lot of those have been right here, right? Right here on the first base side.
Here, and then before this at the old ballpark.
And I imagine it looks a lot different on TV now than it did when you started.
Yeah, and when I got started, it was black and white. The first game I ever televised was 1960, the Fort Worth Cats, black and white TV.
Now, in honor of all those years of service, Phil got a special treat today. The production crew put up a special plaque. Now, this is known as the Crow's Nest, this first base camera where we're standing. The sign says it thanks him for his years of excellence and professionalism, and it's an ongoing inspiration to all of us who work with him. Phil Crow and the Crow's Nest, thank you so much for all the years of great Rangers baseball you brought us.
Thank you, Joel.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Buzz?
All right, Joel, thank you. Great man, Phil Crow. He's raised a lot of us in this business around here. Been a great friend and mentor to me over the years. 1-1 pitch on the way to Flowers.
Well, you could tell that was a big thrill for Phil to have so many of his friends there, all the camera guys, all the production people. He means a lot to them, and they mean a lot to him, too.
You are correct. Tyler Flowers caught looking in the 3rd strike, his first time to the plate against Darvish. And the 2-1 pitch to him this time is a strike on the outside corner. Pretty good fastball. You zipping it in there. 92 miles an hour, a 2-seam fastball. Darvish about ready to throw his 65th pitch of the night. Had a rather extended first and second inning here this evening. And Flowers hits one high in the air down the right field line. That's going to slice back about 3 rows into the seats. And we'll come back and try it again at 2-2. Darvish with 43 strikes, 22 balls. Hasn't looked as sharp as he did Saturday out in Anaheim, but even when he's not as sharp as he can be, he's still a very formidable right-hander. Slow chopper down to 3rd. Beltre, barehand attempt, and he can't come up with it. Only shot that Adrian had was to barehand that, and he didn't get the bounce to do it with. Well, that's going to be a 1-out single by Flowers.
Well, it's a good sinking fastball that he just barely got a piece of. That would have been a good test for Adrian, because he was playing back with the catcher at bat, so he had a long way to come to get it. And I don't know if even Adrian could have made that one.
Yeah, we saw him make a play the other night here against the Red Sox that I know he's the only third baseman I know that could have made that play. Went into foul territory as he threw the ball, and he has such tremendous arm strength. The line drive off the bat of Beckham. He's 2 out of 2 as he plugs the gap in left center field. Hamilton over to cut it off. Beckham going for 2. The throw is late. And Beckham taking advantage of a very nonchalant pickup and throw by Josh Hamilton is able to work that into a double, and the White Sox have runners at second and third with 1 out and the top of the order coming up.
A well-hit ball by Beckham, the second well-hit ball that he's had. The sinker came down and in instead of being away. I'm not sure that Josh thought that Beckham was going to try to go to second on that play.
Not exactly the time you like to see your outfielder be surprised.
Well, yeah, it takes away from a double play.
Yep. Well, the Rangers now, with that 1-run lead in jeopardy, have runners at second and third. They are facing the top of the order for Alejandro De Aza. De Aza 0 for 2. Rangers playing the infield back. And the slow breaking ball finds the inside corner for strike 1.
De Aza hasn't hit into a double play in 384 at bats, so a double play would have been tough, but still, he's in scoring position rather than at first base.
Darvish, a check of the runners, the 0-1 pitch. Chopper by Michael Young into right field, a base hit. Flowers scores. Here comes Beckham as Cruz can't come up with the ball cleanly. And 2 runs across. The White Sox have taken a 5-4 lead on Yu Darvish and the Rangers.
He's just not making the same pitches that he normally makes. Not quite as sharp with his off-speed pitches. That looked like a cutter that was right down the middle of the plate. He had Youkilis 0-2 back in the second inning with a couple of outs and grooved a fastball that Youkilis hit out of the ballpark. Not making his customary pitches so far.
Yep. And speaking of Kevin Youkilis, here he is. He is 1 for 1, a walk and a 2-run home run. He has scored twice tonight. And De Aza very much a base stealing threat at first. Fastball a little bit low for ball 1. Youkilis now 10 home runs and 36 driven in. And Yu Darvish in a bit of a tough spot here in the 4th inning. In fact, the only easy inning he's had was the 3rd. De Aza had a huge jump and then he stopped for.
Couldn't believe his good fortune. Decided not to go.
De Aza shaking his head and saying, man, I had second base. I could have walked into second base if I'd kept going.
I think he was afraid Darvish was going to notice it and throw over there.
Darvish a peek over his shoulder. De Aza off the bag, and the pitch low and inside. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Youkilis. Now Youkilis hitting in the number 2 slot. He'll be followed by the designated hitter. It's Adam Dunn. 5-4 Chicago. They about hit the Rangers 8-5. 3-0 pitch. That is right down the middle. Youkilis coming over on the 24th of June in exchange for Brent Lillibridge, who has since been released, and Zach Stewart from the Red Sox to the Red Sox.
Well, that's buying low right there. They didn't give up much to get him, and they've got a very good player right now. Wasn't much of a market for Youkilis, evidently. That's all the Red Sox could get for him.
There goes De Aza. The pitch is high, ball 4, and runners at first and second now. Still just 1 out, and Adam Dunn coming up with Mike Maddox on the way to the mound. Well, Yu Darvish struggling here in the 4th inning. He's got his pitch count up to 74 for the night. That walk to Euclid, the second walk he issued this evening. Both of them have gone to Kevin Euclid. Well, the series continues over the weekend. Tomorrow it'll be Phil Humber and Matt Harrison. 7 o'clock start. Harrison, of course, looking for win number 13. Then on Sunday, a change for the Rangers. Originally, Roy Oswalt was going to pitch on Sunday. They flip-flopped he and Scott Feldman. Feldman will throw Sunday and Oswalt on Monday, with Gavin Floyd the opposition for Feldman Sunday evening. That's a 6 o'clock start with the Rangers and the White Sox. First pitch to Dunn. It's a knee-high strike inside corner. Dunn has looped a single to left field and grounded to short. De Aza with good speed at second base. Euclid, the runner at first. Dunn going down the left field line. That ball is slicing into the corner and going foul.
Dunn leads the league in walks with 75. He also leads in strikeouts. He struck out 147 times. He also hit the ball out of the ballpark 30 times. Driven in 71 runs. That's fourth in the American League. Home runs leads Major League Baseball. That's kind of the guy he is. Jim Thome kind of guy. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs, a lot of RBIs, a lot of walks.
0-2 pitch. That's off the glove of Yorvi Torrealba, and the runners will advance 90 feet. De Aza to third and Euclid to second. And that'll probably be a pass ball. Charged to Torrealba.
Yeah, he dropped the pitch. It was near the strike zone. He was trying to get Darvish to throw that ball high. I think he was surprised a little bit that it wasn't higher than it was, but still a pass ball.
Oh, now that'll force the Rangers to pull the infield in with Dunn at the plate. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Check swing on a pitch low, and the appeal down to third. No swing.
And here's a case where you've got a strikeout pitcher and a hitter that's prone to the strikeout in a situation with one out where you need a strikeout.
You've got typically two areas to go with Dunn. You can throw the slow breaking ball if you get it out of the strike zone low, or you can get the fastball up and on the inner half of the plate. Darvish with a 2-2. Tried the breaking ball down and in and couldn't get Dunn to offer. It's a full count.
That's one of the things with Dunn is most of the strikeouts you have to think are swings and misses because he doesn't swing at a lot of bad pitches. He works a lot of walks. You got to get a little bit closer. That cutter just missed being a pitch that would tempt him to swing.
Payoff pitch on the way. He went around that time, got him swinging on that breaking ball, that back foot hook.
He got the count to where he laid off a bunch to the point where he couldn't lay off of that hard breaking ball. Went for the strikeout and got it. Hard slider down and in. He definitely swung at it.
So 5 strikeouts now for Darvish, 2 outs. And Konerko coming to the plate, and even though it's right-hander versus right-hander, you have first base open. Konerko, probably the hottest hitter in the White Sox lineup. So you can afford to be a little bit careful with him. Alex Rios, even though he's swinging the bat well, and not quite as hot as Konerko. Darvish, a check of the runners. And the breaking ball is a called strike. Problem with Konerko, we saw it last time up. Even though he struck out, fouled off 9 pitches in that at bat, and he really made Darvish labor against him. 0-1 pitch. Pretty good pitch there by Darvish. Gets a fly ball to center, playable out there. for Craig Gentry. Side retire, but the White Sox come up with a couple of runs on 3 hits and strand 2 after 3.5. 5-4 Chicago on TXA 21. Going opposite field, his 14th home run of the year, a 3-run blast in the first inning. DXU Energy, the right things right now. And speaking of Nelly Cruz, he is leading off the Ranger 4th inning. It'll be Cruz, Napoli, and Torrealba to face Chris Sale. He now has a 1-run lead with which to work. Big wave out and miss on the off-speed pitch, and Cruz now in an 0-2 hole against Sale. 14 home runs, 60 runs driven in.
He's kind of reached back for a little extra and only had 88 miles an hour. He's thrown a lot of strikes, 39 strikes and only 13 balls.
Cruz, a little cue shot down to Canerco at first. That is out number 1. Well, folks, the next Verizon Wireless Fireworks Friday is, August 10th. The Rangers take on the Detroit Tigers right here at Rangers Ballpark. Verizon Wireless Fireworks Friday is offered $10 upper level tickets, $10 cash parking, and a post-game fireworks show. Just enter Verizon as the coupon code on TexasRangers.com. Mike Napoli looks to strike into the glove of Tyler Flowers, the White Sox catcher. Napoli skied to right field on the first pitch he saw from Chris Sale in the first inning. And he's now down on the count 0-2. Mike Napoli on Wednesday night here, Tuesday night, had a 3-walk game. Again, that's his 4th 3-walk game of the year. Normally an indication that things are getting back in order for Napoli when he starts getting the walks, seeing the ball better, and getting on base, although the batting average would still tell you it's a bit of a up and down situation. He's gone on strikes here, and Chris Sale has retired the last 3 that he's faced, and it's his 2nd strikeout of the night as Napoli has gone down.
Yeah, since Cruz hit the home run, there's been an infield hit and a single. And you have to give Sale a lot of credit. He's pitching without his fastball. It's a guy that's a power pitcher, pitching like a finesse pitcher tonight. Most of those pitches in the mid-80s, changeups, breaking balls, occasional fastball that hasn't reached 90 since the first inning.
Torrealba takes a fastball at the knees. Rabin had that little tapper out in front of home plate that neither Sale nor Flowers could get to. Went for a base hit, and he is down in the count 0-2. So
you can see why Sale pitched so well in the first half of the season. When you look at the off-speed pitches he's fooled the Rangers with tonight, combine that with a fastball at 95 miles an hour instead of 88 miles an hour. You can see there's 91.
91 on the inside corner, and Torrealba is caught looking. Back-to-back strikeouts. Rangers gone in the fourth after 4, 5-4 Chicago. By your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Twilight here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. The Rangers find themselves down by a run. White Sox about to hit them 8-5 tonight. Part of the big crowd on hand here tonight, enjoying the evening thus far. They're looking for a Ranger comeback, but first Darvish has to dispatch the White Sox here in the fifth inning. Alex Rios, Alexi Ramirez, and Nayan Biciedo will be the three hitters that Darvish has to deal with. Rios 0 for 1, a sacrifice fly and a ground out. And Darvish drops a breaking ball in there for strike one. Next pitch from Darvish is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander back to the plate. And it's 2-1. Breaking ball hit in the air to right field. Cruz going back now, puts the brakes on. Out number 1. Darvish able to retire the first man. He will now face Alexi Ramirez. Ramirez this evening had an infield single and grounded to Adrian Beltre his last time to the plate. Darvish with the first pitch. And misses low for ball 1. Alexi Ramirez, one of the most sure-handed shortstops around. And has played a very, very solid shortstop for the White Sox since 2008. Wave and a miss. Tom told you, though, the home runs have been there before. He has hit 21, 15, 18, and 15 with the White Sox in his first 4 years after signing out of Cuba with the White Sox. One pitch to him. That's chop foul. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Darvish about ready to throw his 90th pitch of the night. Nods in agreement with Torrealba and comes set. And the 1-2. Now, Darvish has had kind of an up and down night. Timing wise tonight, it looks like just his whole demeanor. I mean, it's changed. Sometimes at bat to at bat, sometimes very little time in between pitches, sometimes a lot of time in between pitches. Little looper on the right side that Michael Young goes back and makes the catch. Michael saying something to Ian Kinsler like the thing had a little crazy spin on it.
Michael had to finesse that ball. Kind of dropped right behind him. Had to spin around. Stay with it. Stay with it. And hang on to it. Sometimes the easiest balls aren't quite as easy as they appear.
Yeah.
And when you see a player catch a little ball like that and smile, that's what he's saying. I know it looked easy, but it really wasn't that easy.
I think Ian might be giving him a little bit of grief. Plus, when you're the first baseman and you're at home in the Rangers ballpark, you're going to get grief from the bench too. Pitch is low to Viciedo. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Make a play like that really wasn't up to your standards. You don't want anybody else to be able to yell at you and have you hear them.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to be out in left field here. 2-1 as Viciedo kind of corkscrewed himself into the ground on that swing. A gorgeous evening, all kinds of pinks and salmon colors along with the light blue skies behind the clouds. Great sunset. Rangers hoping to make the sunset on the White Sox here shortly. There's a swinging strike, and it's 2-2 to Viciedo. Darvish trying for just his second 1-2-3 inning of the night. The 2-2 pitch. And the count has gone full. Well, Viciedo is able to keep the inning alive. The catcher Tyler Flowers would get an opportunity here in the 5th inning. Payoff pitch on the way. Elvis, a couple of steps to his left, and that'll do it. 1-2-3 inning for Darvish. We're halfway through the ball game. The Rangers trailing the White Sox 5-4 on TXA 21. 1-year-old son Henry enjoying the birthday party out here tonight at Rangers Ballpark.
That's a big baby, boy.
Yes, he is. He has not missed many meals.
That kid's got some solid legs. Looks like a linebacker.
Emily better be careful. Her back's going to give out on her.
I noticed she's switching sides pretty frequently.
Good to see the Joneses out here. Greg Gentry getting ready to start off the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Gentry, Kinsler, and Andrews to face Chris Sale, who has settled down very nicely. And misses high and away with a changeup to Gentry. Sale has allowed just 2 hits since that rough first inning when the Rangers put 4 on the board. And a fastball inside, got it. And Greg Gentry aboard to start off the Ranger 5th inning. He represents the tying run. Now let's take a look at the AT trivia question for tonight. Who was the last Rangers pitcher to lead American League rookies in strikeouts per 9 innings? That's in a minimum of 15 starts. And yes, we are asking that question because Yu Darvish is on the hill, and he happens to be doing pretty well in that category. The 1 on, nobody out. Second hit batter of the night by Chris Sale. And the man who is plunked to start things off for the Rangers here this evening is stepping in. That's Ian Kinsler. First ball swing, it's popped up. Over to take a look, and running out of room is Tyler Flowers. That ball back in the 7th row. It's 0-1 to Kinsler. Ian, being hit by a pitch, is flying out to center field here this evening. He's trying to get things back in order against Chris Sale. They had their way with him in the first inning, and since then it's not been an easy chore. Out of play to the right. No balls and 2 strikes to Kinsler. Greg Gentry, the runner at first. He has been picked off once tonight by Sale. And the left-hander goes that way with the 0-2 count to Kinsler at the plate. Sale figuring that Gentry might try to pick a pitch on which to steal, and normally an 0-2 is going to be a breaking ball if you are so inclined to throw those. Your snap throw to first. Now, Gentry not had a lot of success lately in the stolen base department. He's been caught 3 of his last 6 attempts, including that pickoff. Now Sale ready, a check of first. Long look over there. And now everybody calls time at one time, and Gentry goes back to the bag. Sale steps off the pitching rubber, and Kinsler backs out of the batter's box. Low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ian has been swinging the bat well of late. He is 4 out of 8 on the homestand the first 3 games. In the last 4 games, he's gone 6 for 17. Rangers could use some production right here. 1-2 pitch, and that's fouled out of play to the right. Ian also has had an RBI per game in the last 4 games. Sale has the sign he wants. And the off-speed pitch is pulled just foul outside third.
One thing the White Sox, one of the things the White Sox do well, which is why they're playing so well, is they play excellent defense. We saw that in Chicago. Rangers hit a lot of balls hard that looked like they might be turned into base hits, but instead they were turned into outs. Euclid made a bunch of good plays. Ramirez as well at shortstop. Play really solid defense, both in the infield and in the outfield now.
Again, the 1-2. And that's just up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Last year, Rios was playing center field. Juan Pierre was playing left field. And their defense in the outfield. Carlos Quentin was playing right field. Really wasn't that good. Now it's pretty good. Rios is a solid right fielder. Diaz is playing center field well. Viciedo's playing decently out in left field. They play really good defense in the infield.
Yeah, they have only committed 41 errors this year. That is second best to Seattle's 37 errors. Rangers tied for 4th fewest with 51 errors. Rangers have gone 6 straight games without an error. And the pitch outside. So Ian Kinsler has been able to work the count full now, and he's trying to continue something here in the 5th inning. Elvis Andrus, your shortstop, waiting in the on-deck circle. 1 on, nobody out. Gentry at first, and we'll see if Ron Washington turns him loose with Kinsler at the plate. Sale checks in. There goes Gentry, a belated jump, and the pitch fouled back at the last second by Kinsler.
Well, Sale's mixing in a lot of off-speed pitches and doing a pretty good job of it, too. Doesn't matter what the count is. He's throwing changeups and curveballs anytime he wants to. Ian spoiled an off-speed pitch right there at 3-2. Ian's seen a lot of pitches. First time up and this time up.
Now Kins back in. Gentry stepping off his lead at first, and Sale is ready. The payoff pitch going inside, ball 4. And the Rangers have runners at first and second, nobody out, with Elvis Andrus coming out. So a hit batter and now a walk. Rangers put 2 aboard without the benefit of a base hit. And Robin Ventura, who has no one up and throwing in the bullpen, really trusting Chris Sale.
You talk to the people with the White Sox, Buzz, and they rave about the job that Robin Ventura has done coming in as a first-year manager.
Well, I think people around baseball, the general consensus was that, if the White Sox were a 500 team, that Ventura would have done a great job. And here they are at 8 games over 500, and leading their division by half a game over Detroit.
He's always been a very steady guy. As a player, you couldn't tell whether he was 4 for 4 or 0 for 4. Sure that helps him as a manager too. Quite a contrast from Ozzie Guillen. Not good or bad, I don't mean it that way, but 2 entirely different guys.
Yeah, a contrast. You are correct. Elvis showing bunt had White Sox moving all over the place, and he's around again and takes a strike this time.
With Ozzie, it was all Ozzie every day.
Yep.
And with Robin, it's all 25 players every day.
He has done a very good job with this White Sox ball club. Euclid, the third baseman, flashing out the defensive signs, relaying them from Ventura to the rest of the infielders so everybody knows what's going on bunt defense wise. And the pitch outside, a changeup missed. Count moves to 2-1 to Elvis. So far they've had 3 different bunt defensive plays on. I don't know if they have a 4th, but if they do, we're going to see it right here.
If they do, Euclid just put it on. He's giving the signs to everybody. Konerko's way in at first. Euclid is getting ready to come in at third.
Elvis again around to bunt and bunts it foul.
Boy, for Elvis, that was not a good bunt attempt. I think he got caught between bunting and Holt taking his bat back and taking it for ball 3. Kind of caught in between. It's all right. Take two and hit the right. Got good speed on the bases. Shoot that little line drive down the right field line.
That's when you need that double steal. You get that going. Elvis going to bunt and pulls the bat back. It is a strike, and he has gone looking.
Elvis is too good a hitter to bunt with 2 strikes. He's hitting .298. He can drive the ball to right field. That was not a good at bat for Elvis.
So Elvis caught looking. That's out number 1, and here's Josh Hamilton. Josh 0 for 1, a sacrifice fly in the first, and then a strikeout in the 3rd inning. That's when the Rangers really need the big guy to have a good at bat. Oh, and 1. Gentry the lead from second. Kinsler away from first. Ground ball pulled foul outside first, and the count moves to 0-2.
Wow. Look at the Elvi. That's a great look. Can they sing? That is the question.
Sale back to the plate. Got him swinging. Strikeout number 5. Second time he's gotten Hamilton, and it'll be up to Adrian Beltre.
Third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
Don Cooper now have to have a chat with Chris Sale. Sale has not been able to retire Adrian Beltre tonight. A couple of singles in each of his first 2 at-bats. Rob Drake, the home plate umpire, going to go out and see if he can't hurry things along a little bit. Still nobody throwing in the White Sox bullpen. Conference is effectively broken up by Rob Drake. So 2 outs. Beltre stepping in, a 4-game hitting streak going. He has extended that tonight. The batting average up to .319. The tying run at second base. The go-ahead run at first. Good speed on the base paths for the Rangers. Adrian having to skip a little rope to get out of the way of that breaking ball. Sale with a 1-0 pitch. Beltre hits it high in the air down the right field line. Long run for Rios, going into a slide and foul territory. And he couldn't quite come up with it. Well, Beltre with life at the plate. He will come back and try it again.
Rios playing Beltre pretty deep in right center field. Had a long run. And the only thing he could do is slide. Looked like he got his glove on it. You can't continue to run. Otherwise, you'll go full speed into the wall. He went after it the only way he could and gave it a good effort. Just couldn't quite come up with it.
Looks like he got some of the warning track stuck in his hand, too. 1-1 the count to Beltre. Sale pulling the string and has the advantage in the count at a ball and 2 strikes.
The Rangers have had 5 hits, 3 hard hit balls in the first inning, 2 singles and a home run, and not much since then.
Beltre ropes one foul off the facing in the stands down the third baseline.
You know, even with below average velocity, you have to think, looking at Sale, as tall and lanky as he is, with a kind of a herky-jerky type delivery, he probably has a little bit of deception. Tough to pick up, tough to time, even without his fastball.
Yeah, time called as Adrian not quite ready yet. Now Sale is ready one more time. Call strike 3. Fastball came back on the inside corner, and Adrian caught looking. 3 straight strikeouts with 2 on and nobody out. White Sox are out of the 5th. 5-4 Chicago. Trivia tonight. Again, the question is, who was the last Rangers pitcher to lead American League rookies in strikeouts per 9 innings? And the answer would be Bobby Witt. Back in 1986, 9.93 strikeouts per 9 innings. And Yu Darvish, how's he faring? Pretty well, thank you. 10.24 per 9 innings in 2012. Francisco Liriano, the all-time rookie leader on that list. Well, the Rangers waste a golden opportunity in the bottom of the 5th. Now the White Sox come to bat in the top of the 6th inning. Time of Flowers to start things off, and Yu Darvish breaks off a breaking ball to the outside corner for strike 1. Flowers a strikeout and an infield single. Another breaking ball, and that finds the mark.
The Flowers started the 2-run rally back in the 4th inning with a little dribbler down the 3rd baseline. Went for an infield hit.
Yu Darvish looking in for the sign for his 100th pitch of the evening. And Flowers fouls it back. And with that 100th pitch, Robbie Ross, the left-hander, getting up in the Ranger bullpen, starting to get loose. Darvish at 64 strikes out of his 100 pitches tonight. He's only walked 2, and both those walks were issued to Kevin Youkilis. And Flowers able to stay alive. Just did get a piece of that breaking ball. But he's also had a lot of very long counts. Remember the one at bat that Paul Konerko had back in the 3rd inning before striking out. He worked 11 pitches out of Yu Darvish. And this not exactly a White Sox team that is noted for their patience at the plate. Darvish having a little trouble getting together with Yorvi Torrealba. Now the right-hander has the sign he wants, and the 0-2. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball. Flowers gone on strikes. That is number 6 for Darvish. And let's say hello once again to Joel Thomas. Joel?
Hey, thanks, Buzz. You know, with all these sellouts, I hear a lot of people saying, I'd like to go to a Rangers game, but I just can't get tickets. Well, I've got some good news for you. We kick off a 4-game set against arch rival Angels on Monday, and we've got lots of tickets still available, and good seats, too. So you might get a chance to come out and see the Rangers square off against CJ or even Greinke now, but you're going to have to move fast. 972-RANGERS or TexasRangers.com. Buzz?
All right, Joel, thanks. One gone, Gordon Beckham steps in and takes a breaking ball for strike one. Beckham 2 out of 2 with a pair of runs scored tonight. Single and a double. Well, Beckham, who had not been faring very well from the number 9 spot in the batting order, kind of caught fire here tonight. Next pitch low and outside to him. Beckham, who had hit 265 as a number 2 hitter, and hit just 179 and almost an equal number of at-bats when batting 9th. Kevin Youkilis, however, happens to be hitting in the number 2 slot, and he has done a very good job for the White Sox. 2-1 the count. Darvish back to the plate. And a 3-hopper hit out to Elvis. It's a good hop as he backs up a step. 2 gone. And Alejandro De Aza coming up. We'll hear Joel Thomas talk about Zach Greinke. And in case you weren't with us earlier, this has been the news of the afternoon flying around the ballpark. Zach Greinke acquired by the Los Angeles Angels from Milwaukee. Angels sending their top shortstop prospect, Gene Segura, and a couple of double-A pitchers to the Milwaukee Brewers for the rights to Zach Greinke. So Greinke will join the Angels, and no doubt we will see him Monday through Thursday when LA is in town to take on the Rangers. Piazza steps in 1 for 3 and goes after the first pitch, and Nelly Cruz gliding to his right takes care of it. So that will do it, and there have been 8 straight now sent down by Yu Darvish. 5.5 in the books. Chicago 5-4 over the Rangers. By Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the jackpot is worth $300 and dinner for 2 at a Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Peter Gray from Frisco. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during the inning, Peter Gray from Frisco will win $25,000. And you can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Now, Michael Young to start things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Young, Cruz, and Napoli, the first 3 to do the swinging against Chris Sale. And Young 1 for 2 tonight. Singled back in the first inning and scored. And Sale deals strike 1 on the inside corner.
Unusual inning for the Rangers in the 5th. A hit by pitch and a walk, and then 3 straight strikeouts. Elvis trying to bunt on a 3-2 pitch, took strike 3. Josh swung at a pitch out of the strike zone. Then Adrian got paralyzed on a good fastball, 91-mile-an-hour fastball right in the inside corner. Sale showing that he can pitch without his fastball today.
And Young able to lay off that high fastball. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Sale has had 6 strikeouts. 5 of them have come in the last 6 hitters. Looping line drive out to Beckham, and Young is retired for out number 1. Now Nelly Cruz will step in. Nelly with his 14th home run of the year, a 3-run bomb in the first inning. And the first pitch is low and outside for ball 1. Nelly is now homered in 3 of his last 5 ball games. Waved at and missed there on the big breaking ball. Nelly getting on that hot streak homer wise after going 21 games without hitting one. 1-1 pitch through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Top spin grounder that got by Kevin Youkilis, who is favoring the line a bit. And Nelly Cruz with the 1-out singles aboard with Mike Napoli coming up.
The Rangers need the long ball right now. 1 swing of the bat, take the lead. Got a good guy up there to do it too.
Napoli tonight has flied to right field and struck out. Knapp, another one of the guys that has been on a pretty good home run binge of late. 3 home runs in his last 5 ball games. Sale a check of first. And the pitch to Napoli, tails outside for ball 1. Napoli in his last 5 ball games, 6 out of 16. Mentioned those 3 home runs, also had 5 walks. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Sale studying the signs from Tyler Flowers. And the 23-year-old lefty ready to work. Pulled the string, had Napoli out in front. It is 2-1.
That's kind of what we're talking about with Sale. Any pitch at any time tonight. 2-0 fastball count. Napoli looking fastball all the way. Didn't get it. Got the off-speed pitch and was way out in front of it.
Another off-speed pitch that comes to the back door and finds it open. It's 2-2.
Well, here's kind of where he had Beltre, and then threw him that fastball on the inside corner. A couple of off-speed pitches, and one fooled Knapp, one he took.
I would imagine you get the fastball this time.
See if he comes with that fastball on the inside corner.
Pitching people backwards. The 2-2.
Tried to.
Off the plate inside. And the count has gone full. Well, Napoli trying to continue things with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Following Napoli in the batting order, Yorbi Torrealba. Sale a check of first. The payoff pitch. Double play ground ball out to short. Beckham back to first, and that'll do it. 6-4-3 double play. The Rangers are gone in the 6th. On to the 7th we go. 5-4 Chicago. every game against the Angels. That's Monday through Thursday. Your $47 ticket includes unlimited grilled chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, and soft drinks served in the air-conditioned upper home run porch grill. To support your Rangers next week in the battle for the American League West, get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com. On we go to the 7th inning. And Darvish back to the hill. He will face Kevin Youkilis, Adam Dunn, and Paul Konerko. Crowd has been kind of quiet since the first inning out here at Rangers Ballpark. The guy who hasn't been quiet at all, and that's Kevin Youkilis. He is 1 for 1 officially. He's been aboard all 3 times. 2 walks and a 2-run home run. Darvish peers in for the sign and has the one he wants. And that slow breaking ball dips in and over. No balls, 2 strikes. The one thing that when you look at Kevin Youkilis that you're reminded of is people talk about Michael Young and how it doesn't bother him to hit with 2 strikes. Youkilis gives you the same impression. That he just doesn't really care whether it's no strikes, 2 strikes, whatever. And I think that's why both of them are extremely good hitters. That they don't get too upset if they have a couple of pitches they can't get to. They know they have to get one more in there eventually.
Well, Youkilis had his home run on an 0-2 pitch. Pitch that Darvish would like to have back. He threw it right down the middle of the plate. Threw it 96 miles an hour, but Youkilis turned on it, hit it way out in left center field.
Youkilis has come back from an 0-2 count to work it even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Darvish back to him. Count has gone full. Action again in the Ranger bullpen. This time it's right-hander Alexi Ogando up and throwing. Robbie Ross had been up in the 6th inning in support of Darvish. Now Alexi up there as Robbie has taken a seat. Darvish with a payoff pitch to Youkilis. Nice play by Beltre. Can he get him? Yes, he did. Adrian Beltre, a dive, a scramble, and a swing.
That was one of those in-between plays. It was going to be a really tough play for Adrian. It was going to be a tough play for Elvis, too. Michael's getting very good at first base at picking those balls out of the dirt, too.
Yes, he is.
Starting to get a lot more playing time over there, being much more comfortable over at first base.
A 1 gone, base is empty, and Adam Dunn comes up. Dunn 1 for 3 tonight against Darvish. Just a little bit off the outside corner. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Dunn single in the first could go back and say, well, it wasn't exactly smoke, but it was a base hit. A looping drive to left field that Josh Hamilton misread and then couldn't catch up with. Fell in front of him. Two and 0 the count. And ball 3 is low. Dunn, who is first in the American League in walks with 75, and looking for number 76 against Darvish. 3-1. And 17 pitches tonight for Darvish. The 3-1. Ball 4. And Dunn draws the 1-out walk with Paul Konerko coming up. Well, that's the first walk that Darvish is getting up since the 4th inning. The only White Sox hitter other than Youkilis together a walk tonight. Dunn gets a 1-out walk, and Ron Washington making his way out to the mound. Looks like that he wants the right-hander Ogando as Yu Darvish's night is finished after 118 pitches. Long outing for the right-hander. He gets into the 7th inning, though. He gets 1 out into the 7th inning. He will leave trailing 5-4, and with Adam Dunn at first base, his responsibility. So Alexi Ogando will come on, and we'll be back to tell you about the big right-hander coming to the mound for the Rangers right after this on TXA 21. For you, Darvish. Ogando will come on with Adam Dunn at first base. 1 out. Paul Konerko at the plate, and there are Alexi's numbers.
And very good numbers. Good strikeout to walk ratio. Opponents are hitting below 200 against him. Trying to keep the door shut right here on the White Sox. Allow the Rangers to at least get 1 to tie the game. Come back and win it. There's some kind of boomstick right there.
That is.
Takes up a whole row. People that didn't even come to the game together can eat that thing. You put that thing down, someone you don't even know starts eating the other end of it. Thought it was put down in front of him.
There goes Dunn from first. The throw to second is into center field by Kinsler. Dunn up and going to third. He will be in without a throw. Well, the Rangers not holding Dunn on. You got a walking lead at first, and just swipe second. Torrealba's throw got by Kinsler.
Well, if you give him that kind of a lead, it doesn't matter if you're fast.
It'll be a stolen base and an error.
Well, that's an un-Ranger-like play right there. That's kind of a careless play to put a guy in scoring position with only 1 out for one of the best hitters in the league now.
And now you got to pull the infield all the way in. 7th inning, you can't really afford to give up a run with 1 out on a slow chopper or something like that. And Konerko fouls it out of play to the right. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Konerko, a first inning single. Since then, he has struck out and fly to center field. Ogando in a position where that strikeout would be a nice thing to have right about now. Fastball up and in, and it got him. Got him on the left arm. Ogando trying to come inside 0-2 and didn't miss by too much. Konerko stands very close to home plate, and He just got nicked by that fastball.
He's got some padding on his elbow. I'm not sure whether that didn't look like it hit his elbow, though.
Konerko, a slow walk down to first. He appears to be okay. And that'll put the double play back in order, if at all possible, for the Rangers. And middle of the infield going back now.
Well, Rios is grounded into 14 double plays, so he's a candidate.
Fastballs, or breaking ball, I should say, stays inside. 1 ball and no strikes. White Sox this year kind of in the middle of the pack as far as grounding into double plays. 73 all told coming into tonight. Compares with 68 for the Rangers. Rangers in the upper half as far as fewest double plays grounded into. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Just off the outside corner. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count's 2-1. Ogandos is coming back off the disabled list on July 17th. Has been a bit up and down. Last time out was very good against the Red Sox. Chopper to the hole. They probably won't get 2 on this. Kinsler back to first, not in time. A run scores. Not much you can do on a ground ball in the hole like that, as Rios with good speed able to leg out the return. He gets the RBI, and the White Sox take a 6-4 lead.
Well, Rangers turned it as well as you can turn it. Well, Rios still runs pretty well. It's not enough time to do it.
Nope.
It's just a run. You know, you walk Dunn. That's not unusual. Dunn leads the league in walks, but you don't expect him to steal second, and then the error put him at third base.
Yeah, and say this, the stolen base didn't hurt as much as the error on the trying to get him. Waved at and missed by Alexi Ramirez. It's no balls and 1 strike. Ramirez 1 out of 3 tonight. And an infield single in the first, and since then he has popped out and grounded out. Throw drives Rios back to the bag. Rios with a pretty good lead at first. And there he goes. The pitch is outside. The throw is high. And in with the stolen base, Alex Rios. He is now in scoring position with 2 outs. The second stolen base of the inning for the White Sox. Ogando ready, the 1-1 pitch. Elvis has a come up on him, throws a low one in the dirt, and dug out nicely by Michael Young. Side retire, but the White Sox get a run, an unearned run at that, on no hits, and they leave 1. Stretch half of the 7th inning. It is 6-4 White Sox. And now please join us at Rangers Ballpark as Chuck Morgan asks the crowd to join us in honoring America with God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
On hand here tonight, 47,638. And they are in comeback mode along with their favorite ball club, the Texas Rangers. 6-4 now, Chicago leading as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Chris Sale back to the hill, and Jorvi Torrealba to start things off. Torrealba 1 for 2. Sale's first pitch is a fastball right down the chute.
Well, after the first inning, Sale had given up 4 runs. He hit a batter, gave up a couple of singles and a home run. All the balls were hit hard. He threw 26, 27 pitches in the first inning. It just didn't look like it was going to be 4 runs for the Rangers, and Sale still on the mound in the 7th inning. But you have to give him credit. He has really pitched the last 5 innings. 28 pitches in the first inning. He was in trouble in the 4th inning, hit by a pitch and a walk, had to throw a lot of pitches, but he struck out Anders, Hamilton, and Beltre to get out of the inning. So he's done some pitching tonight.
Yeah, he started, in about the 2nd inning, pitching backwards a little bit. Pitch to Torrealba is a strike, and the count has gone full. A lot of off-speed stuff, and instead of trying to throw the ball harder, and this is a good lesson, I think, for younger pitchers, he threw it softer. Yeah, he went to the changeup, went to the curveball, and didn't try to overthrow the fastball. He said, okay, if I've got 88 or 89, that's what I have to work with tonight. And he just took a little extra off. Payoff pitch to Torrealba, high and inside, and a leadoff walk. It's Torrealba aboard. Friday Night Baseball on TXA 21 is brought to you by Sports City Toyota. Go to SportsCityToyota.com. We'll deliver anywhere in Texas. Hopefully for the White Sox, the phone works down there today. Just kidding. I want Dennis Klein to get upset with me about the ballpark facilities. They are great. Just kind of an allusion to problems that Tony La Russa claimed to have.
Yeah, they've got a whole new bullpen down there now. No complaints about the bullpen.
And Nate Jones, the lanky right-hander, up and throwing. Greg Gentry 0 for 1 tonight. He's been hit by a pitch, reached on a fielder's choice. 0-2 the count. Greg doing a little self-talk as he's out of that batter's box. Now back in. Torrealba a very modest lead at first, and Sale back to the plate. Now speed is low, and Gentry able to check his swing that time. You'd like to see Gentry be able to get aboard here, get a couple of runners on, and get the Rangers back to the top of the order. Sale's 1-2 pitch. It's pulled right down the line and just off into foul territory as it passes by Dave Anderson.
Boy, that's an amazing stat.
Yep.
Generally, it's the exact opposite. 33% fastballs.
And
there might have been some fastballs in there that just were the radar gun didn't register high enough to get credit for fastballs.
The pitch is just a little bit low, and the count is now even at 2-2. That, I would imagine that is the exact opposite of what the Rangers saw from Sale in Chicago.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Matter of fact, his fastball percentage up there might have been higher than 67%. Now the count's even to Gentry. Outside, the count has now gone full. Well, Gentry has come back from an 0-2 deficit to work the count full. He is trying to get aboard in front of the top of the order, and that's Ian Kinsler. the leadoff man in the on-deck circle. A 6-4 Chicago lead. Torrealba started the inning by walking, and now the payoff pitch coming to Gentry. Popped him up. Shallow center field. Daza coming on. Still coming, and can't make the play. Backing it up is the left fielder Viciedo, who throws to second for the force play. Now Torrealba in no man's land. He is forced at second, and we've got White Sox down all over the outfield. Daza is down. Looks like Alexi Ramirez is down. They tried to avoid a head-on collision going after that ball, and when they're both writhing in pain, it looks like Ramirez holding his left wrist. And Daza also his left wrist, so the glove side wrist.
I hate to see anybody get hurt. That was a heads-up play by Viciedo, though. Came over and picked the ball up and just nipped Torrealba at second base. Otherwise, it would have been first and second and nobody out. Gentry would have gotten a base hit. Instead, it's a force out, 7-4. That could have been a lot worse if they hit head on.
Yeah.
Viciedo coming in to make the play.
And Daza got a pretty good shoulder, it looked like. Got his head snapped. Torrealba, you're darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Tough call for the base runner. If you don't start to go back and the center fielder catches it, he just lobs to first base and you're an out. So you're kind of caught in no man's land. There's not much you can do except hope that you can make the recovery and beat the throw.
Yeah, Alexi Ramirez being tended to. Herm Schneider out there. And Daza trying to get that left wrist going. Well, while we have a moment here, here's the Toyota Trucks on the road scoreboard. Baltimore coming back to take a 9-8 lead over Oakland in Baltimore. Yankees blasted Boston 10-3 the final there. And Toronto all over Detroit. Detroit now has lost a couple straight. Minnesota big over Cleveland, blanked them 11-0 in Tampa Bay, an early lead. Out in Anaheim 1-0. Seattle leading Kansas City 3-0 that ball game in the top of the second. The save huge on a new 2012 Tundra at your local Toyota dealer. Alexi Ramirez apparently taking the lesser of the two smacks on that one. He's going to stay in the ball game. It looks like Alejandro Daza is having a problem with his left wrist. In the meantime, Nate Jones, the big right-hander, has come out of the bullpen. He will take over on the mound. Boy, Daza really had his neck snapped back. So, Chris Sale is gone. Nate Jones is on, and we will come back to tell you about it in just a moment on TXA 21. will take over in center field for the injured Alejandro De Aza. And on the mound now, the big right-hander, Nate Jones.
The White Sox started the season with a lot of rookies out in their bullpen. A lot of rookies with great arms. He's one of them. Having a solid season for him.
Well, Jones inherits a runner at first in the person of Craig Gentry. Ian Kinsler at the plate. And a check swing on a pitch. And Joe West says, nope, he did not go around. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Kinsler's been aboard twice tonight, 0 for 1 officially, but he walked, been hit by a pitch, and scored a run. The run he scored back in the first, his 70th of the year. Fastball up and in, and it got him on the left wrist. That at 97 miles an hour, and Ron Washington and Jamie Reed coming out very quickly to check on the health of their second baseman. Third Ranger tonight that's been plunked by a pitch. Jamie Reed checking out the outside of Ian's left hand. Just making sure he moved all the fingers move okay.
A lot of things you can hurt on a hand with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, that's for sure. We'll just hope none of that has happened to Ian.
That's one of those ones that pinches your hand between the ball and the bat. Hopefully the bone didn't get in there too. In any event, the Rangers, as they have done a couple of other times tonight, able to get 2 aboard without the benefit of a hit. They have 1 out and Elvis Andrus at the plate. And he tries to gear up for that 97-mile-an-hour fastball and can't quite catch it. Elvis, you remember last time up there, the runners at first and second and nobody out, and showed bunt on a 2-2 pitch and took it for the 3rd strike. Next pitch a little bit low from Jones. It's 1-1. Gentry, the runner at second, Kinsler at first. Both establishing their leads, and possibility of a double steal in the offing. Breaking ball from Jones. That finds the inside corner.
That's a tough pitch after a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. At least you've seen them both now, though.
Yeah. Hard throwing left-hander Matt Thornton is loosening in the left center field bullpen for the White Sox. Jones with a 1-2 pitch. And the count even. He is even to Elvis. Tonight 1 for 5 on the season, 281 as a team, hitting with runners in scoring position, and they are definitely in position right here. The 2-2 pitch.
Nice
breaking ball, and took it outside. The count has gone full.
Yep, that was a tough pitch to take for a lot of hitters after you've seen a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, hard breaking ball, a little bit out of the strike zone.
I think there's
danger of walking the bases loaded.
Not much doubt here that you let the runners go with Kinsler and Gentry, do you?
No, this is a pretty good contact hitter.
And they're not going. He takes ball 4. The bases are loaded for Josh Hamilton. Well, how do you like that? Jones comes on, hits Ian Kinsler with a pitch, and then loses Elvis Andrus on a walk. And the Rangers have the bases loaded for Josh Hamilton. And Robin Ventura does not want Nate Jones facing Josh Hamilton with the bases full. Well, he will call for the hard-throwing Matt Thornton. And Hamilton will face a left-hander with the bases full in the 7th inning. We'll come back and tell you about Thornton right after this on TXA 21. Spirit of things here tonight. The base is full of Rangers. Josh Hamilton at the plate, and a hard-throwing left-hander, Matt Thornton, is on the mound. And there are Thornton's numbers for you.
Well, he's been a solid setup man for a long time. Been an all-star. Coming into a tough situation right here. Rangers have had 2 walks and a hit batter this inning. Back in the 5th inning, they had a walk and a hit batter to start the inning and couldn't do anything. Now it's bases loaded, 1 out. Opportunity for Josh.
Now Hamilton steps in 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Also has a sacrifice fly. Gentry, Kinsler, and Andrews. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Thornton's first pitch is off speed and over for strike 1. Hamilton in 7 career at bats against Thornton is 1 for 7.
That's the time Josh, I'm sure, said to himself, I'm going to not be over anxious. I'll look at one. And there's a time he throws one in for a strike.
Right. Took that breaking ball that was in the dirt. Hamilton. Tough number to figure out with a .237 batting average with 3 grand slams. The bases loaded batting average might be indicative of a guy that maybe pushed a little too much pressure on himself. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, chopped to first. Konerko is going to second. They get 1. A return is not going to be made. In to score is Gentry. Hamilton legs out any possibility of a double play, and the Rangers cut the lead to 6-5 as Hamilton gets his 2nd RBI of the night, his 83rd of the year. And the Rangers now have runners at the corners and 2 outs for Adrian Beltre.
Well, that pitch got a lot of the plate. Josh hit it okay. A little chopper, get a little break. You find a hole into right field, and everything good is happening. 2-run score on it. As it is, you get 1 run closer, and you got a great hitter at the plate with a man on 3rd base.
Well, Beltre at the plate, 2 for 3 tonight. A pair of singles and a strikeout. All 3 of those at bats against Chris Sale. Now Thornton will back off and rethink things. That last run, by the way, was charged to Chris Sale, so he gives up 5 runs tonight. And the first pitch is a fastball that's outside to Beltre. It's 1-0. Adrian batting at .318. There's Kinsler at 3rd base and Hamilton at 1st. With the whole right side of the infield open. We saw him go that way the other night with a key base hit. Off speed, and that's a little bit high. It's 2-0. Good look at the size of that hole with the second baseman Beckham shading up the middle, and Konerko holding Hamilton at 1st. About a 75-foot or 80-foot gap on the right side for Beltre to shoot to. 2-0 pitch way inside. The count is 3-0. Robin Ventura making all the appropriate moves, and now he just has to rely on his veteran left-hander, Matt Thornton, to get the job done. The 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle. Kinsler coming down the line from 3rd. Hamilton away from 1st. As Thornton comes set at the belt. Low ball 4, and that reloads the bases. And Michael Young will step to the plate.
The White Sox have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. Thornton's the veteran. Will they stay with him? Looks like they will. That's not Robin Ventura going out to talk to him. Right-hand hitters hit .296 against Thornton.
Yeah, that's Brett Myers, just newly acquired from the Houston Astros. And Don Cooper going out to have a chat with Matt Thornton. Michael Young against Thornton, 1 for 9 in his career. He had 1 strikeout and 1 walk. But tonight, 1 for 3 against the starter, Chris Sale. Well, the folks on their feet, out in the outfield in particular, they are ready to let it go if the Rangers can get it done. And Michael Young pops up the first pitch. Foul territory. Over to take a look is Flowers, but that's back out of reach. And we'll try it at no balls and a strike as Ron Washington looking on with quite a bit of interest to see whether that ball was going to stay in the yard or not. Watch it. Come on. Get that thing out of play. Go on. A couple sunflower seeds, change the trajectory of that thing. Make sure he gets back a few rows. 0-1 to Young. Michael 4 out of his last 9 with runners in scoring position. Line drive to right field. Over is Rios. He is there to make the grab, and the Rangers can get no closer. They get a run. Still no hits in the inning. They leave 3 aboard. We'll go to the 8th. It's now the White Sox 6 and the Rangers 5. Nicholas at it again. Off Yu Darvish in the second inning, a 2-run home run. And that made it a 4-3 ball game. Nicholas tonight, as he has been since he came over to the White Sox, a problem for the Rangers. Check out the really big singles event now at your Honda dealer. Now the Rangers pick up 1 in the bottom of the 7th. And now Alexi Ogando going to work in the 8th to try and keep this at a 1-run game. It's 6-5 Chicago, and they face Viciedo, Flowers, and Beckham. First pitch is a little bit low to Dan Viciedo. Viciedo 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of ground balls to short and a strikeout. And another breaking ball that hangs high and tight to the right-handed hitter. 2 balls, no strikes. Two and 1. And just power against power. And the next pitch is low. It goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. So Ogando falling behind the first hitter he faces here in the 8th inning. He came on in the 7th. He hit the first batter, Paul Konerko, that he faced. And misses badly high here. A leadoff walk to Viciedo begins the 8th for the White Sox. And Tyler Flowers now will come up, and the Rangers will be looking for a bunt from Flowers.
Guy's too big to bunt.
Flowers tonight has struck out twice and had an infield single. No bunt here with him swinging away, and he takes the pitch inside for ball 1. Adrian Beltre still at third, still not convinced that Flowers won't be asked to bunt. He's playing even with the bag. Get a look at the Ranger defensive alignment. Now Beltre backs up. 1-0 pitch. And that's chopped foul. Flowers 1 out of 4 in his career against Alexi Ogando, and that one hit a double. Alexi trying to induce a ground ball at somebody on the infield off of Flowers. It's a swing and a miss instead, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Flowers, as we mentioned, filling in for the injured A.J. Pierzynski. Pierzynski listed a day-to-day with an oblique strain. And Flowers gone on strikes. Ogando with some high octane, down and away. He gets the strikeout. 1 away. Gordon Beckham coming up.
He just fired those 95, 97 mile an hour fastballs on the outside corner. Flowers just wasn't quite able to catch up with him.
The first strikeout for Ogando following the first walk. And with 1 out, Gordon Beckham, who is 2 for 3, steps to the plate. Beckham singled and scored in the 2nd, doubled and scored in the 4th inning. And last time up, grounded to short. And a breaking ball, and catches the inside corner to Beckham. It's 0-1. Ogando has the sign he wants from Torrealba. And a little cue shot hit down to Michael Young. He goes to second. They get 1, and that's all they will get. As Viciedo got on the front end of that play, and he is retired. Beckham taking his position at first base, and with 2 outs, it'll take the White Sox back to the top of the order. And Jordan Danks will have his first at bat of the evening. Jordan Danks, of course, the younger brother of John Danks, out of Austin and University of Texas fame. Danks making his first extended stay at the major league level this year for the White Sox. Pretty good rip and a fastball from Alexi Ogando, and he fouls it back. Danks at 296. Couple of RBI. Facing Alexi Ogando for the first time. And the pitch way outside. Jordan Danks came into the 2012 season ranked as the best defensive outfielder in the White Sox organization by Baseball America. Second time in a row that Danks got that designation, and third time overall. The question, I guess, for Jordan was he ever going to be able to hit at the big league level, and he is in the process of answering that. And Ogando going to work on Beckham at first base. Danks put up some pretty good numbers at AAA. 302 with 8 home runs. He drove in 28 in 58 ball games before being called up this year. Check swing, pitch catches the outside corner. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jordan got called up and made his major league debut as a pinch runner against Toronto back on June the 7th. Got his first hit the next day against the Astros. Here, Alexei Ogando has a 1 ball, 2 strike count on him with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. And the pitch gets by Torrealba all the way to the backstop. Down to second goes Beckham. And he will be there with 2 outs now in scoring position.
In the first inning, Euclid walked and scored. Last inning, Dunn walked, stole second, went to third on a throwing error, and scored an unearned run. Now Viciedo has walked in this inning. Beckham got on a fielder's choice and just went to second on, were they really pass ball or wild pitch? On a wild pitch. So you want to get careless and allow another run to score.
Got him swinging. Good breaking ball. Well, the strikeout ends the threat in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits. 1 left. On to the bottom of the 8th we go. 6-5 Chicago on TXA 21. Bryant, bring the energy. Tonight, not a lot of hits, some opportunities, and the Rangers are 1 for 7 as far as hitting with runners in scoring position. And Adrian Beltre and Nelly Cruz with a couple of hits. Cruz, of course, with that 2-run home run. Josh Hamilton, a pair of RBI without the benefit of a hit. Flying a ground out.
Last inning, the Rangers loaded the bases without a hit. And Michael Young hit a solid line drive, but he hit it right at Rios in right field. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Who knows? Maybe it's a 3-run double, and the Rangers are sitting pretty right now. They had a good at bat against Thornton. Unfortunately, he just hit it right at him.
And now the Rangers facing the former closer for the Houston Astros, Brett Myers.
Yeah, Myers had 19 saves for the Astros. Pretty good for a team that only won 34 games.
And he fires a strike to Nelly Cruz. It's 0-2. Cruz, you saw in that box score, 2 out of 3 tonight. Got a little history with Brett Myers. Nelly has faced him 6 times, has a couple of hits, one of them being a home run. And the pitch low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cruz, Napoli, and Torrealba. Hit hard to left field. Viciedo started in, now goes back and makes the catch. To reach up and battle the lights a little bit, it looked like, and pretty good play by the left fielder.
The last 2 hitters, Michael with a bases loaded, a line drive to right. Nelly Cruz gets a hanging curveball. Boy, he snow coned that thing off the heel of his glove and hits a bullet that Viciedo runs down deep out in left field.
The one away, here's Mike Napoli. Late swing and a miss, it's 0-1. Napoli a fly out, a strikeout, and grounded into a double play. And he takes strike 2. Napoli has not had an at bat against Brett Myers in his career. Right-hander back to the plate, and Napoli fouls it away.
Myers is, other than the hanging curveball to Nelly, is basically saying, here's my fastball.
Check swing. Did he go around? No. Joe West says he did not swing. And the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, there's tough sliders to lay off of when you're down 0-2 on 2 fastballs. Haven't seen the slider yet. Myers hung the curveball. That time he went to the slider instead of the curveball. Almost got Knapp to swing at it. Myers' Buzz is basically a starting pitcher who's a closer.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like a starting pitcher. He's got a solid fastball, a good curveball, good slider. Not really one dominating pitch that sometimes you see a closer have.
Yeah, and after the Astros got rid of Mark Melanson last year, that's when they asked Myers if he would close. Doug Brocail, the pitching coach down there, posed that to him, and Myers said, yeah, sure, why not?
He evidently has the mentality for it.
Yeah. The right-hander's 2-2 pitch. Chopper behind the bag and in foul territory. Youkilis gloves it. And we'll come back and try it again. Yeah, by all accounts, Myers a pretty free spirit, so I guess if you figured, well, it's something I haven't tried at the big league level, why not do it? Give it a shot. Again, the 2-2. Got him swinging. A good off-speed pitch. The strikeout of Napoli. 2 outs, bases empty for Yorby Torrealba.
Hey, threw him a slow curveball. It works kind of like a changeup. It fooled Knapp, had him way out in front. Set it up with his fastball. Got ahead with his fastball.
Yorby steps in 1 out of 2 officially tonight. He's been aboard a couple of times, an infield single and a walk. The Rangers able to score 4 runs in the first inning against Chris Sale, and only 1 more sinks. Hard hit ball by Torrealba right back through the middle.
Well, if you're a hitter, if you're the third hitter this inning, that's exactly what you should do. You've seen Myers throw a couple of fastballs early in the count to Nelly and to Knapp. Feel pretty confident he's going to try to get ahead of you with a fastball too, instead of letting him do it. That just ripped the fastball right back up the middle.
Torrealba aboard with his second hit of the night. And we are going to have a pinch hitter for Craig Gentry. David Murphy has grabbed the bat. He is loosening up. And Tyler Flowers, the catcher, has gone out to talk to Fred Myers. So Murphy will pinch hit for Gentry. And Murphy represents the go-ahead run in this ball game with the Rangers trailing by 1. Torrealba at first and 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Well, David's 2 for 7 with a home run as a pinch hitter.
And Murphy only with 1 at bat. And Joe Nathan loosening to pitch the 9th inning, hopefully with a 1 or 2 run lead. Right now the Rangers trailing by 1 as Murphy takes a pitch low and inside for ball 1. Murph 1 for 1 in his career against Brett Myers. That one was a double. It also had a walk. Torrealba at first, the tying run. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. And Murphy chops one foul at home plate. A ball and a strike. Murphy at 283 with 9 home runs, 33 driven in. Good off-speed pitch, finds the outside corner. And Murphy now in a 1-ball, 2-strike hole. Tyler Flowers looking into the White Sox dugout to see if anything in particular is warranted right here. Torrealba, the runner at first, and Myers ready. 1-2 pitch, hit hard to short, but right there is Ramirez, and he played perfectly on to first, and that will do it for the Rangers. No runs a hit, 1 man left. On to the 9th we go. The White Sox 6, the Rangers 5 on TXA 21. At Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit TexasRangers.com for details. On we go to the 9th inning. It'll be Kevin Youkilis, Adam Dunn, and Paul Konerko to face Alexi Ogando, who begins his 2nd full inning of work. Alexi came on with 1 on and 1 out in the 7th inning. And worked a 2-strikeout 8th inning, working around a leadoff walk. Youkilis 1 for 2, and he takes a breaking ball that's over for strike 1.
Buzz, I think you can look at this a couple of different ways, with Alexei going back out for another inning with 29 pitches. You can look at it that right now the Rangers only have 6 guys out in the bullpen, and you want to save as many as you can. Or you could look at it. Make sure David catches
Yeah,
this.
Murph's got that in.
You could look at it that depending on the trade front, maybe Ogando's a starting candidate, and they're stretching him out a little bit, trying to get him, 35, 45 pitches tonight.
That could very well be. Could very well be. You'd have the option of Alexei Ogando, Martin Perez next week sometime, unless you added someone on the trade front. And Neftali Feliz is going to work at least one more time at the minor league level before he'll be evaluated and added in some capacity.
Yeah, let's say the Rangers don't make a trade, and let's say that Ogando goes into the rotation. If Ogando's throwing the ball the way he did in San Francisco before he pulled his muscle,
right,
or throwing the ball like he's capable of, how much better are the guys that are available in a trade than what Ogando would be without giving up the young players? That's another thing that you factor into the decision if you're the Rangers. And you can always, if you like Ogando in the rotation, you can always put Neffy back in the bullpen when he comes back. Just, things that I think are thoughts that they think about.
Right. Ogando's falling behind. 3 balls and no strikes to Dunn.
But generally, Wash doesn't go with a late inning reliever for multiple innings late in the game.
And Dunn draws his second straight walk. A 1-out pass puts him aboard for Paul Konerko.
Sheppers hasn't pitched in a while. Kirkman hasn't pitched in a while. Probably wouldn't right now use Adams and Nathan, but Robbie Ross had warmed up a little earlier. So there's other options to get through the 9th inning other than Ogando. So I guess it's probably one of two things. You just don't want to use anybody else out there, save them for the rest of the weekend. Or maybe you just want to stretch Ogando out just in case that's something you want to do.
Yeah, it's an opportunity that's kind of presented itself here tonight.
Yeah. Let's stretch him out to 40 pitches in case that's the way we want to go. Not that that's what we're going to do, but give us an option if that's the way we want to go.
Konerko last time up hit by a pitch. First time he faced Ogando. Alexei was the pitcher on the hill. Or I should say Konerko was the hitter when Alexei came into the ballgame. The breaking ball looped down the right side. Kinsler, nice running catch by Ian.
That turned into a hard play because it was so well placed. Michael's holding the runner. He can't get back to catch it. It wasn't hit very high. It was a little semi-blooper off the handle. And Ian had to sprint as hard as he could to catch that ball. Got jammed on the hanging slider. Ian just barely caught it.
Now 2 gone. Here's Alex Rios. Rios 0 for 3, but he has driven in a couple of runs. He takes pitch low and outside for ball 1. Rios a sacrifice fly in the first and a fielder's choice ground out in the 7th inning. That also scored a run. And right now that is the difference in this ball game. Hits this one well to left field. Murphy is going back at the wall. He can't get it. It's off the wall and drops right down by his feet. They're going to wave Dunn around third, and the relay is mishandled. So safely into third is Rios, and in to score is Dunn. The White Sox take a 7-5 lead.
I think if Elvis handles that ball, he's trying to catch it and throw it almost at the same time. He knows he's got to get rid of it quickly. We've just seen that relay play so many times this year. You get the feeling if Elvis is able to handle the throw, that he's going to throw Dunn out at the plate. He's in position. He's got time to do it. Throw is maybe a little bit high. He just couldn't quite get it done.
So a huge run scored with 2 outs by the White Sox. And Alex Rios is given a double and then advancing on the error. Pitch outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Ramirez. The Rios gets the RBI on the double. The error allowing him to advance from second to third. And that makes, of course, the Adam Dunn run earned for Ogando. That ball's hit pretty well to left field. Murphy going back. He's still going back. That ball's gone. Well, Alexi Ramirez, we were talking about the power that he hadn't had this year. He showed you some there. It's his 4th home run of the year, and just like that, it is a 9-5 lead for the White Sox. Make that 8-5. Nine to 5. I was right the first time.
Third time a walk has started a rally, and there's a hanging slider right down the middle of the plate. And you can get Ramirez out pretty consistently if you keep that slider down and away. But obviously you're not going to get anybody out if you throw the slider right down the middle of the plate. That's just not where Alexi was trying to throw that ball.
Torrealba asked to take a little bit of time and go out and talk to Ogando. And of course, one of the problems you sometimes run into as Tanner Shepard gets heating up in the right center field bullpen is when you try to stretch a guy out, you never know what the last 10 or 15 pitches of that stretch out are going to do to him. And that could be a factor as far as Alexi is concerned. He's out 41 pitches right now, and the last couple of pitches have not been hit have not been well located.
No, they've been hangers.
No, base is empty now, and Diane Viciedo goes after the first pitch with no success. It's 0-1. A 9-5 White Sox lead, and they have made the Ranger 9th inning very problematic. Breaking ball is high. It's 1-1. Looking toward the bottom of the 9th, Rangers will have the top of the order up. Kinsler, Andrews, and Hamilton. Out of play to the right. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Viciedo. Fly ball hit pretty well to right field. Cruz going back. He's on the warning track and makes the catch, backpedaling toward the wall. Side retire, but the White Sox come up with 3 very big runs on 2 hits and a walk. Bottom of the 9th coming up, 9-5 Chicago. Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT the nation's largest 4G network. AT rethink possible. And by TXU Energy. The right things right now. Call 866. Call TXU today. A 9-5 lead now for the White Sox in the first game of this 3-game weekend set here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Great crowd on hand here tonight, the 28th sellout of the year. And they will watch the Rangers try to get after the closer for the White Sox. That's Addison Reed here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, Brett Myers had 19 saves for the Astros when they traded for him. They obviously brought him over to be a setup man. They're going to stick with Addison Reed, who's done a nice job for them. Reed with another hard thrower, young hard thrower out there in the bullpen. He's saved 16 games.
Reed will be facing the top of the Ranger order. That means Ian Kinsler to start things off. Kinsler tonight has twice been hit by a pitch and walked once. He's been aboard 3 of the 4 times he's been up there. And Reed missing outside with the first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Ian 0 for 3 against Reed in his brief career. Strike to the outside corner. Reed ready, and the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. And the count is now even. The Rangers this year have had 1 comeback when they've been trailing after 8 games at home. 1 comeback in 14 games. And Kinsler trying to ignite it here in the 9th, but pulls it foul. It's still 2-2.
You bring a glove, it might go in it.
You never know. Kinsler, a drive to center. That's in for a base hit. Well, Ian extends his hitting streak now to 3 straight ball games. A leadoff single here in the 9th. And Elvis Andrus will come up.
Ian's been on base 4 times tonight. Been hit by a pitch twice and walked.
Well, Elvis 0 for 3. Unless the Rangers come back and tie this up, his 13-game hitting streak on the line right here. He takes the first pitch high and inside for ball 1. And the Rangers this year overall 1-33 when trailing after 8 innings. That one, however, coming here in this ballpark. As Elvis takes a strike. 1-1 now. Reed comes set, a check of first. And Elvis loops one down the right side, but it goes foul, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Elvis checking with Rod Drake, the home plate umpire, to see if that was a strike. Drake confirmed that it was. Addison Reed back to the plate. And again fouled off to the right. Kinsler, again, a modest lead at first. And a breaking ball, and Elvis just able to check his swing that time. That evens the count at 2-2. Kind of reminiscent of the at-bat he had in the 7th inning. That was against Nate Jones, and Elvis able to eventually work a walk. This is out of play to the right. Reed ready. Again, the 2-2 pitch. And that's low. The count has gone full.
Rangers have had some chances. Maybe get another chance right here. 4-run deficit, but get 3 base runners. Anything can happen.
Josh Hamilton waiting in that on-deck circle. And Addison Reed set. Payoff pitch is strike 3 call. Elvis caught looking on his way to first base. And Addison Reed gets a huge strikeout for out number 1.
Oh, good pitch. No doubt it was a strike. Good fastball. Nice location, right down and away, right where he tried to throw it. Outside corner.
Well, here's Hamilton, who's 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of RBI. Sacrifice fly and a fielder's choice ground out. And he takes strike 1. Josh, now the average down to 285. Lays off that off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hamilton just 1 previous at bat against Addison Reed. Is after the pitch and skies one to shallow left field. Luciato coming on and with plenty of time to get there, puts it away. And the Rangers now down to their final out in the person of Adrian Beltre.
Third baseman Adrian Beltre.
Kinsler remaining at first. Addison Reed now with Beltre coming to the plate. Adrian 2 for 3 tonight with a walk and a couple of singles. Konerko will play behind Kinsler at first. Won't even bother holding him on. Kinsler will take second base as Beltre takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Defensive indifference allowing Kinsler to advance the 90 feet. Reed's 0-1 pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, it'll be Matt Harrison looking for win number 13 against Phil Umber of Perfect Game fame. There's Harry. 0-2 pitch. That'll be tomorrow at 7:05, the first pitch. And then on Sunday at 6:05 to wrap up the series. It will be Scott Feldman and Gavin Floyd. Chopper slowly hit, cut off by Euclid, the third baseman. And on to first, that will do it. So the Rangers get a leadoff single in the 9th inning, and that's it. They strand their 8th runner of the night. And the White Sox win the first game of this 3-game weekend series by a final score of 9-5. We'll be right back with more from Rangers Ballpark right after this on TXA 21.